Hey everyone, minute or two for everyone to join in. Okay, folks, just ran into something. Slight hitch there. Just give me a minute. Okay. Right. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, cool. So like I said, we are at ETHOdyssey now. And first and foremost, I'd like to give a shout out to the person without this would have been impossible, Shakti. And this is something that's uh, been quite tough for us. The past 2 months have been pretty tough for the DevFolio team. Shakti, first and foremost, was our friend, a very close friend, someone many, including me in our team, knew since 10 years. And everything that you see, DevFolio, Fold, In Out, ETH India, Women, is all thanks to Shakti. None of this would have been possible without Shakti. We miss him dearly, but we have got back to working on DevFolio only because we know the kind of impact it can create. And that's the only thing pushing us forward, and really appreciate all your love and support. Thanks to all of you who love and support us uh, through these tough times. And I'd like to go ahead and talk to you about the past ETH India hackathons. We have done 2 editions of them so far. The first ETH India was back in 2018 when we did the very first edition in MLR Convention Center, Bangalore. We had the best minds in Ethereum come down from all over the world, plus with over 1,400 applications at that time, we selected the who cream of the crop, and they came down, and that was pretty much a landmark event for the Indian developer ecosystem. And that's how it has gone. And yeah, we have seen some great outcomes from that. InstaDapp, Incento, many great projects born out of ETH India have gone on to raise millions of dollars in funding and have kind of become crypto mainstays now. So ETH India 2018 was awesome. 2019 was also great. And we were very fortunate to be able to organize them. After that, we thought, why not take the ETH India experience online? And we did not want people to be geographically constrained. Though even for ETH India, we used to have people coming down from all over the world, but still it was not possible for everybody to come down. And also we simply could not accept all the amazing hackers we could, just due to space constraints, which is why we decided to take the ETH India experience online starting Jan 2020. And we have done 5 editions of it so far. ETH India Online, the first was just named ETH India Online. Then came Money Legos, Chain Runner, Dab Jedi, Etherpunk, and they have like paved the way for many Ethereum ecosystem. So that was the ETH India Online hackathons. We have also done fellowships. We've had 2 Ethereum India fellowships so far, in which we selected the top developers. For the second fellowship, we had over 2,000 applications, from which we selected 30 fellows in all, who received up to $2,000 in stipend to kind of take a deep dive into the Ethereum ecosystem. And the progress they made has been absolutely amazing for us to witness, and we're very proud of all of them. So those have been the fellowships that we have done. And going beyond, like now I'll have to give a big shout out to the sponsors of ETHOdyssey. Thanks a lot for supporting us. Ethereum Foundation, Polygon, Frontier, Filecoin, Unmarshall, UniSwap, Odds Finance, StakeDAO, NuCypher, Chainlink, Consensus, Superfluid, Portis, The Graph, and the DappList. Thanks a lot for supporting us. Yeah, next, just some stats for you for the hackathon. We've tried our best to accept some really good folks this time. And yeah, if you haven't received an acceptance yet, don't worry, we have a couple of you on the wait list. You should be, cross your fingers and, wish you the best. The average age has been 20 years. And we are very bullish on young folks, giving all the power to young folks to kind of empower them, and that has turned out great. We're very excited to have all these amazing builders building at ETHOdyssey. We have $40,000 in bounties this time, supported by amazing sponsors, and really glad and looking forward to seeing some really amazing stuff being built. To get support, do join our ETH India Telegram channel. You can find it at t.me/ETHIndiaCo, and you'll be in the loop for all that's happening at ETHOdyssey. Also, for the accepted hackers, all the action will take place on our Discord. This is our Discord link. We'll be sending you an email with all of these details later on. We also have a hackers guide, which covers everything that will go on at ETHOdyssey. You can find it at bit.ly ethodyssey.guide-guide. And our hackathon calendar can be found on bit.ly ethodyssey-calendar. Bounty details can be found on bit.ly ethodyssey-bounties. Make sure you really go through that carefully and apply to as many bounties as you can. Got to grab them all. And last but not the least, since the very beginning, we have always been very mindful of having a very fair code of conduct. It's simple. Do not treat others only like you would be expected to. You would expect to be treated yourself. No harassment and abuse will be tolerated at ETHOdyssey. If you come across any such incident, please directly approach the organizers, and we'll be happy to help you. All right. I think now we can move on to the second half of our session. We'll be joined shortly by Austin. In fact, let me just check. Hey, Austin.
How are you? Am I in the right place?
You are.
I'm early. Is that okay?
No, it's perfect. You're right on time.
Perfect.
Yeah. I just want to show them one last thing, just a teaser before you take it away. And that is something that we have worked very hard on this time. We're going to have the ETHOdyssey Metaverse open for you the entire month, tomorrow, 9 p.m. onwards. So do join in, and we're quite excited for you to take a look at what we've been putting together. It's a whole new digital experience that we have put together for you. You'll get to interact with sponsors, interact with your friends, play games, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And really excited for that. With that, I think I'll hand it over to Austin. Austin was supposed to start at 8, but very graciously joined in early. And I'll let him take it up from here.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Denver. Got to do one of these. Boop, 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 boop. Happy Bow Tie Friday.
Happy Bow Tie Friday, man.
I think since we have an extra little 15 minutes, I was thinking maybe do kind of like almost like a TLDR Ethereum for Web 2 developers getting into Web 3, kind of just do a little extra intro. I know a lot of developers here probably kind of know it, but if I speed run it quickly, maybe we can cover a little bit of the basics first. Then we jump into scaffold-eth and see how to build an app. Then maybe see some forks of scaffold-eth and maybe even take it from 0 to 1 and see if I can upload it all the way to a test net within the time that we have. But does that sound cool, or is an intro just like too basic? What do you think?
No, I think that would be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So let me steal a screen and we'll get going here. So let's see. Cool. Yeah, I think ETH Build got the shout out. It's funny how when there's a picture of Austin, sometimes it could be any little weird thing that I've built. ETH Build was the thing that I got credit for this time. I love it. ETH Build is one of my love projects for sure. It's a good way to kind of just like tinker around with Web3 and get an intro. Let me zoom out a little bit more and just say like ethereum.org, great landing spot, so much information here, especially for developers. If you get in here, you're going to find tons of tutorials, documentation, just how to get started, how to learn, and then kind of how to deep dive. There's tons of stuff here that are very, very intricate details and lots of great information on ethereum.org for getting started. But the first thing I'll look at is if you were to go to, let's see, Learn by Coding, Remix and ETH Build. Remix is a wonderful web interface that you can kind of throw Solidity together and build stuff. ETH Build is a little bit different. It's more of a sandbox where kind of coding isn't necessarily required. I built it as, so yeah, here's a good example of just, let me zoom in there. Here's a good example of a little dashboard I use all the time, thinking, okay, I'm gonna deploy this smart contract and it's gonna take up, 400,000 gas at the current gas price, at the current ETH price. What's that gonna cost me? Well, it looks like about $23. So I can use this to, like, what if we fill a whole block? What is that going to be? Isn't it about, yeah, so about $1,000 to fill a block, right? So this is very useful for me. This is kind of just doing math and some API stuff, but what we can do is we can dive in and kind of look at, starting with a key pair. We know that that's a private key and a public address, and kind of just like thinking through the mental model here, like this is what you need to interact with Ethereum, right? You basically generate a good private key, and then that private key is used to derive an address, and that address is one of your identities, right? That's you, and sort of you can have people send to that address. That address is your public address. You can share that with anyone. Just don't share that private key, right? That private key is everything. And you lose this key, or if this key is leaked to someone, then this account is totally hosed, either locked up or it's emptied, right? And just to zoom out a little bit more, we can do a little mnemonic. Instead of having to remember this private key, what you can do is have some kind of 12-word seed phrase. And if we do a good job of generating a good 12-word seed phrase, then that is hashed with an index and gives us a private key. So we can wire that up to a private key, kind of get rid of that one. And now we can kind of have a a string that's easier to remember, right? That we can have in a much better place this is a lot easier to back up sometimes than this. And another kind of secret move here is we can do different addresses. So you can have address 0, but then address 1 and address 2 and address 3. And those, it's not actually, I kind of thought that address would change as I change this. I wonder if what I'm doing wrong here. Oh no, that's right, it did. Okay, 1, and then it's 2, and then it's 3. Yeah, there we go. They are changing. 4. So with one single 12-word seed phrase, you're able to index those hashes and have a whole bunch of different accounts. And that's kind of what you get with MetaMask. I'm assuming most people have pulled MetaMask off the shelf already, but that's kind of like our in-browser wallet. You can kind of unlock that. Let's see if I unlock I unlocked my MetaMask, and now there's my address. And if I wanted to, I could, send some transaction or something like that. And let me just dive through to, my dude Scott's coming in. What's up, man? Let me just dive into, once we've got a private key, we can do a whole lot of stuff, right? We can start talking to some blockchains, and let's pick out some, let's pick out some chain here. Where are we going? Let's look at Kovan or something like that. Let's see what block number Kovan is on. And there we go. And now we're tracking the block number of Kovan, and we could even look at, what's my balance on Kovan, right? Let's bring that. Oops, that's not what I want. Let's bring that MetaMask back in here. Unlock it, get my address, and then feed that into this balance. I think I have a balance on Kovan, so this should work. Thinking about the building blocks of, there we go, of Ethereum, we always talk about money Legos. And as I was building this, it kind of became obvious that money Legos wouldn't be wired up one-to-one. It's sort of like you get a Lego, and from a Lego comes the functions, and then you can kind of plug arguments into those functions and then get a result. So there we go. That's my balance. I'm totally loaded. I'm a whale on Kovan. But you can use this for all sorts of just tinkering and playing around. Starting with that private key, you can sign and recover messages. You can encrypt and decrypt, but you probably shouldn't use ETHOdyssey keys for that. But then you can get in here and look at all sorts of stuff, even bringing in like smart contracts where you plug in an ABI to it. If it's an object, do something like parse the object. So JSON can come in here, and then an object comes out here. So whatever JSON is here, and you can just kind of like drag and drop. Maybe you want a file input where you want to drag and drop. You can put that there, drag and drop your ABI in there, wire that up to here, and have your contract kind of auto parse, and you can kind of poke at your contract from ETH build. So that's my quick intro to ETH build, and almost like a little bit of an intro to kind of how to get kind of tinkering without code, but really like setting up the local environment and getting going with scaffold-eth is what I'd really like to talk about mostly here, because we're kind of going into a hackathon. We're thinking of all the cool things we can build. Kind of a really key insight that we had is it's really complicated to build a Web3 stack. Your stack ends up looking super complicated, super hard to deal with. And then if any little thing goes wrong, everything falls over and you're not sure exactly, the error message isn't very clear. It's sort of hard to understand what the heck is going on. And so with scaffold-eth, we wanted to have everything for you out of the box. So it's all kind of wired up and working together at first. And then if something falls over, you can always kind of roll back to that master, that main branch that's working. So let's just dive in. I think, do we have some QA or anything? Can we generate any number of accounts using a seed phrase? Yes, you can. So that index, basically, you can count that index up as long as you want. And what it's doing is taking your words and then some index and hashing that, and that hash is your private key. So you can increase that index all you want. And a neat little property there is, given one address, as you're indexing through, these are just hashes, right? So it's a one-directional thing. So you can't, given two different addresses, you can't tell that they came from the same seed phrase, I guess is what I'm adding to that, which is kind of a neat little concept. So So I kind of want to do an intro here. The Web 2 devs getting into Web 3, kind of thinking of the mental model like that, kind of as we dive in. So you've got your private keys, you've got your MetaMask, you're able to kind of interact with the network. What is the network, right? When we talk about blockchain, like what is blockchain? What does it look like? And we usually kind of end up saying, well, it's like these rows of blocks. Well, actually, it's kind of more, what does it look like? It looks like a network substrate, right? It's a substrate of like tens of thousands of nodes, all connected, all playing by the same rules. And they're each holding a copy of your smart contract, right? So when we think of, I'm a Web 2 dev and I've got this service that I'm running and a bunch of people hit it and it falls over. So what do? I scale up that machine. I scale out that machine. Like maybe I have a read replica and a write replica. I create some kind of replication and redundancy. And maybe I write 3 times, but then when I read, it's a lot faster. Some of those tricks that we come up with, right? Let me make sure I have the chat up here so I have it. Cool, awesome. Ooh, I did, I should have taken ETH build to full screen. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. Zoom in the screen. Oh, sorry guys, I should have zoomed in a little bit more. I just saw the chat, I'm just picking it up. Sorry about that. Okay. I will do a better job making this a little bit bigger when we dive into it here. So thinking of it as a Web 2 developer, thinking of it as an app, thinking of it as a backend, you can scale up your backend in Web 2. You can come up with lots of tricks, but if we think of Ethereum the same way as kind of like this expensive backend, this level of redundancy is a little different because your smart contract that you deploy lives on all 10,000 nodes or whatever, right? Like they all hold a copy of your smart contract. So it's like incredibly redundant. Everyone has a copy and everyone is sitting there and miners are sitting there kind of working on adding the next block. And then someone out there on the network, mines that next block and we kind of every 15 seconds move forward with state changes. But that's extra expensive to have all those machines securing the network, doing all that proof of work and eventually proof of stake. So when we think of it as our database, it's very expensive because of a lot of that redundancy and then the trust implications that we get from there. But to think of it like a Web 2 database is probably a good start, and think of it as very asynchronous. When you want to write to that database, it's just a transaction that has to get mined into a block, and all of that kind of network propagation and proof of work has to happen. And every person on the network has a copy of your smart contract. And when you want to update the value, every one of them have to update that value, and they're all going to find the same value or the same results, right? So cool, we've got this super expensive database. What can we do with it, right? Well, on the other side of that, the reads are really easy, right? You can read from any node on the network. If you would like to participate, you can spin up a node and that node can start talking peer-to-peer to other nodes and you can read from your own node. And kind of like, as a developer getting started, one thing that we'll do is we'll use Infura, and they have their own infrastructure and their own nodes, and we'll do a lot of RPC calls to them just to make it easier on us. We don't want to have to run a node. We don't want our users to have to run a node. Some things need to be that decentralized and users will have to run their own nodes, but a lot of these things, users don't need to run their own node, and we'll have Infura for our infrastructure there. Okay, so I want to dive into scaffold-eth and really get into the heart of the onion, and we'll kind of work our way out from there. So let's see. So with scaffold-eth, if you just Google scaffold-eth, you will land at something that looks like this. We've recently updated a lot and we're cleaning up docs, so we're kind of in a transition period. So if like there's a misspelling or something, sorry, hit me up. My DMs are always open. Let me go to Twitter real quick. I'm at Austin Griffith if you want to run me down. Let's see, right there. Yeah, that guy with the bow tie. All right. So let's see. So what we want to do is let's get scaffold-eth. Let's get our local environment up and running just so I can show you kind of the heart of it first. And which is just like kind of iterating on our Solidity. So what we'll do is we've already done a Yarn install, but I'm going to do it again, just to prove that it's all installed. So I'm going to do a yarn install and then a yarn start. And these are all in the instructions. I guess yarn start is supposed to be second. Yarn chain is supposed to be my first one, because if your chain's not up and your web server comes up, then it'll say, hey, I can't find the network. So we'll do that quickly there. There we go. So we've got a yarn chain for our node, our hard hat node. So that's basically a local Ethereum node. It kind of mimics mainnet. It mimics an EVM network. So we're able to kind of make calls against that for free and fast and cheap, and really test things out locally. Then we've also got our React dev server, which means we've got a nice local host 3000 over here. Okay, last thing, we're gonna do a yarn deploy. Okay, and this is gonna compile our contract. So scaffold-eth is just like a big template. It starts with an example, your contract. This is a little bit too complicated right now. We added in some extra stuff as new things are showing up. And I feel like in terms of the onboarding, I want this to be even more simple. I want you to be able to look at the smart contract and be like, I'm a programmer, I get what's going on here. And there's a lot of extra stuff here that I think will clean out and make a little bit better. But the goal is to get a Web 2 programmer to say, oh, wait a minute, this is just like, this is simple programming. Like this is, I can code this. This is simple stuff. And it really kind of is. Like Solidity is a pretty simple, it's simple to pick up. It's very hard to master, especially many smart contracts talking to each other and decentralized systems all talking together. But if you think of it kind of like an embedded controller, I have a degree in electrical engineering. So I spent a lot of time playing around with embedded controllers and programming little microcontrollers. And this to me feels a lot like that, where we're gonna code up a couple rules. Let me make this bigger. We're gonna code up a couple rules in our smart contract. And it really is kind of like we're thinking about where memory is allocated and what those bits are doing under there. And someone's looking for a link, I think, to the show. But what we're thinking about, this is like an embedded controller, and we're going to program what those bits are going to do. We have to understand what those bits are going to do. We have to allocate memory, and that little microcontroller that we're going to code up isn't just one microcontroller. It's basically everyone on the whole network holds that little microcontroller, and you can think of it like it's one little thing, but really there's a redundant copy of that thing everywhere, right? So it's a very censorship resistant, a very trustless, permissionless kind of microcontroller that anybody can get to with an internet access, and anybody can talk to with one of those private keys and a little bit of ETH. Okay, so let's see. We've already deployed our contract. So when I deploy, basically it shows up over here. Oh, it's going to tell me that it used the same contract, right? Let's do a deploy -- reset. So what I want to do is just deploy the same contract again, right over the top of the last one. We throw the last one away, and just to show that it's like, this is all local. You can play with this all you want. You're not paying for contracts. This is just emulating what it's like to be on mainnet. And really, all we got to do is we'll point the satellite up at a public network, and we'll be able to deploy this. But we can work locally quickly, and we can kind of iterate on our smart contract and even learn Solidity if that's what we're here to do. And you can from scaffold-eth. And I'll say, let's see, if we jump into the repo, I think there's the documentation. If you head to the docs, like this is going to take you through everything that I'm going through here, and a lot more, especially like the learning Solidity section. I would recommend just like getting this set up where I can tinker with my Solidity and I can see it show up in the front end, and then go through just this learning Solidity section, and you can kind of speed run Solidity pretty quickly, and a decent programmer should be able to pick it up pretty quickly. But what do I mean about this iteration process? Let's really look at it. So we're able to deploy our contract anytime we want with this yarn deploy. So let's see what we have here. We've got this string purpose, and we've got some function that lets us set the purpose. There's a kind of some messy error stuff in here and some event stuff, but we could even like pull that all out just to get to the point that we see just that right there, right? Basically, we've got a function, we've got this purpose. Let me zoom in even a little bit more. And we've got this function that lets us set the purpose. That's basically all we have here, right? All of this other stuff is events and errors and some other fluff that we probably could get rid of in a basic example. But what does this mean? So there's that microcontroller that's out there, right? Thinking of this little chip that we're going to go talk to, this little location of storage that everyone's holding for us. We have this string that we've sort of allocated memory for, and we've set it to building unstoppable apps. So what do we want to do? Let's go interface. Let's go poke that little, I like to think of it as like almost like a vending machine in the sky, right? Like anybody can get to this vending machine. Let's go poke it a little bit and see what it can do. So if I want to set the purpose, this is going to fail for me because I don't have any gas. And that's going to help us kind of talk about accounts real quick. You'll notice that I have this account in the top right. If I open an incognito window and I go to localhost 3000, you'll see a different account. See that 00F? Let's do that again too. So if I go to localhost again, we should see a new account show up here. So in an incognito window, I'm getting a brand new account every page load. Over here, or not every page load, but as soon as I close this, basically it's in local storage. So so you can really bring up testing accounts, and there's no like MetaMask prompts. These are burner wallets built into your browser. They're great for testing. Instead of having to connect MetaMask and figure out the nonce and the network and the chain ID, just use a burner wallet at first. Go ahead and just fund your burner wallets from the faucet there. Now these guys can just talk to our smart contract, right? Let's craft up our first transaction and let's send that to our contract. And then anybody in the world over here can also go read that, right? So we're now crafting a transaction and we're talking to our smart contract. So here we go. Now this is the iteration loop. This is the heart of the onion. This is what I want you to have set up. It should only take you 5 minutes on your machine. I've been talking a lot, but it's a yarn install and a yarn start, a yarn chain and a yarn deploy. And you've got your code here and you've got your front end here, and you're really ready to iterate and learn Solidity. So let's just write some quick, simple Solidity here. I'm going to grab this guy's account. Again, like once you have all this up, dive into this Learn Solidity and go through this. Primitives and data types, mapping, structs, modifiers, events, inheritance, payable functions, fallback functions. Follow it. Sometimes it sounds like a lot, but by the time you get to, I can create a struct and I can create arrays of structs and I can add those things together, you have almost all the knowledge you need to build like 90% of the dApps out there. But obviously it's hard to build good Solidity. It's easy to get started. Definitely disclaimer on that. have your code audited. Okay, here we go, which is also really expensive in the space right now and something we need to work on. We need more auditors. We need more people really understanding Solidity at an intricate level and being able to audit contracts so they're not so expensive. But let's dive in here. So we are ready to iterate on our Solidity. Let's just grab this account. Let's just throw in, if I were to go to look at primitives and data types, it would tell me that there's an address. We're going to make it public so we can see it. And let's call it owner. And we can call this anything, right? This is not like a contract doesn't have an owner, but we can arbitrarily, I'm just going to say me actually. Instead of even setting it to owner, I'm going to say, this is going to be a public address me, and I'll dive over here and do a yarn deploy. And we should see a new contract show up here. But the key is the front end is going to auto adapt to as we add changes. There we go. So now we can see me there. Cool. And let's just like maybe even add a function that lets me set me, and some address can come in here, new, I don't know. I'm just randomly kind of throwing stuff out here, and let's just let anyone set it. And let's just say anyone can come in here and pass in a new address. Ooh, yeah, maybe that new is let's say new Addy. There we go. Okay, here we go. We're iterating on our Solidity. We're testing our assumptions. We're trying new things out. And that's the best way to learn here. Just get in here and try different pieces of syntax, different kind of sections of Solidity and kind of learn. So there we go. Now we could, what if we set the me to the contract's address? I don't even know why, but we deployed the contract to A15 and then we set the me to that. There's really nothing triggering off of this address yet. I'm just showing that we can kind of set that stuff up. Okay, so let's get rid of the set me. We don't want anyone to just be able to take control of our contract. And then let's start writing a little rule here. So you could do it like this with these custom errors, and that's probably how you want to do it. But just kind of rewinding to how I did it 2 weeks ago. Let's go ahead and require that the message.sender, which is a global variable that tells us who is calling this function, equals the owner. And basically, if it's not, we'll say not the owner, right? So we're going to require that if you get in here, once you get to this point right here, you have to be the owner or everything's going to roll back. Okay, so here we go. Let's just do another deployment. Hopefully I got that. Oh no, all right, it's me, not owner. I've done this demo too many times. Okay, so we're gonna require that the person that gets in is me, and if they're not, it's gonna fail. And we can kind of test the happy path over here, right? This should work. I should be able to set it. And then let's go bring in that incognito window again. This will kind of be our bad guy, and we'll kind of audit this line a little bit. Like, can a bad guy get in here and set it? Can I? And hopefully this should fail for us, right? Yeah, we get a nice string, not the owner, right? So we kind of audited that line. We tested it out. Then let's dive in a little bit more. Let's change this up a little bit more. Let's make this a payable function, okay? And let's say message.value now needs to be greater than or equal to 0.001 ether, right? And we could talk about ether and way kind of as we go through this. But you'll notice I used a decimal here, and then I followed it up with ether. Kind of the machines all like to talk in way, right? In whole numbers. We don't want to have decimals. They don't want to mess around with floating point numbers. So, but humans would like to see it in floating point, right? When I say I'm going to send you 0.1 ether, that's a lot easier than saying I'm going to send you 1 times 10 to the 17 ether, right? Like, that doesn't make as much sense. So we have way for the machines, and we have ether, which is in a decimal for the humans. But let's say I want to set this purpose now, and I don't send any value in. I should get something. Oh, not the owner. Wait a minute. It's not the owner. It's not enough, right? Yeah, there we go. Because it's now checking an amount, not an owner. Let's get our error messages right. Let's redeploy our contract. Cheap and easy, nice and fast. Okay, so hello. And if I send in 0 and we hit send, there we go, not enough. Like, I'm just not sending in enough money anymore, right? What I have to do is send in 001 ether. And this is a little, this is where we take it from ETH to way. And right here in the UI, I make you as the developer hit this button and go, okay, now it's in way, right? And the reason why I have that in this kind of scaffolding here is that I want the developer to kind of be clear about what's going on with the kind of numbers underneath there, right? The developer, I want to know about this, but obviously you as the developer, once you get this built out, you'll start building an example UI. You won't have your users have to take it times 10 to the 18, right? You'll do that kind of behind the scenes, but leading up to that, I want you as a developer, as you're tinkering with things, to be very aware of how this is working. And there we go. Awesome. So something really cool happened here. I paid, right? Well, first of all, like, we made this a payable function and we checked for the value, and the front end was smart enough to auto adapt to that and say, oh, this is now a payable function. You can send money in with it. Then we made a transaction, we paid, we made sure this require statement is set correctly, and we kind of tested it. But something really neat here happened. The smart contract itself holds value. And when I was thinking about that kind of vending machine in the sky analogy, I really like that. And I've heard a couple people say that, like, Ethereum is the greatest massive multiplayer RPG ever created. And I like to keep that analogy where, if you think about this, it's a massive multiplayer that anyone can get to and anyone can play. And really, we just deployed this smart contract, and now it holds value, and it can do things depending on the logic within its contract, and it can send things around. So it's almost like a player in the game, in the massive multiplayer game too. And just to, like, get weird with that analogy a little bit, when you put your money into a smart contract, it's still your money. The money is basically following the rules of the code throughout the smart contract. So maybe the smart contract is not exactly like a player in the game. It's more like, have you ever seen those claw machines where you put in a quarter and then you and it goes and picks something up? I feel like there's some kind of analogy here where that's like the smart contract is more like the claw, and it's going by the rules and it's doing what you tell it, but you can't, like, touch it, right? Because the glass is there. But if the claw goes just right and it picks something up and drops something over here, then you can get to the prize or the toy that you won, right? So your money in a smart contract, your assets in a smart contract are still yours, and you're sort of kind of like poking the buttons from the outside and it's moving around as you need it to move. Oh shoot, I missed some chats. Can we use NPM? I think you can use NPM, but I would suggest using Yarn just because we have Yarn. No, yeah, because of Yarn workspaces, I think you'll need to use Yarn, but it's super easy. If you have NPM, just do NPM install yarn-g, and now you have Yarn. So like, it's like a really easy upgrade to Yarn. And with Yarn, you can do workspaces, and you'll see that if you look at the, you're not gonna be able to see it. If I were to zoom in on this, there are multiple packages within this repo. There's a React app, a hard hat app, some services, some subgraphs. So different NPM packages that we bring in. So this is like one big package of multiple packages that we import. So that's why we're using Yarn here. How is this different from Truffle? Sorry, that was a while ago. Sorry, 50 minutes ago. So hard hat is different from Truffle in a few key ways. And I would say like developer experience is one of those things. It's easier to debug. It's easier to understand what's going on. And they've rebuilt the EVM in a way where it's built for local introspection. So we're able to have something like a console log here. And let's see, are we doing it? Yeah, so we're setting the purpose. Let's go ahead and set the purpose. Let's say hello to, and I'm gonna hit go there. And look what happens over here. We actually get a console log in our hard hat node. So just like really like some small differences from Truffle, and they tried to build it to be backwards compatible, but sort of like, I think of Truffle as they got the job done when, you know, back in the day when they needed to, like, okay, well, you've got to compile and deploy. But I think they could have spent more time on their developer experience and spent more time making it easier for someone to use. And I think the hard hat guys just kind of like took it that extra distance, right? And really they had to start from 0 to get to 80% or 90%, not start from 60 because they had to rebuild a bunch of things. But I think that you'll find that, like I said earlier, it's very complicated to set up a Web3 stack. So the easier, the better. And they've just made it a lot easier. They did just this thing where they carved out this specific dependency that caused these node JIP errors, and they just went the extra distance and found it everywhere in the ecosystem and got rid of it, and found, just like taking the initiative to make that experience just 20% better it was a critical amount better. And so it's just a lot easier, and that means that like a swath of devs that are landing, that are picking up hard hat instead of Truffle, are having a little bit less rage quit moments. And I think that's important in developer experience. Ooh, fellowship. I don't know what that question's about. Let me keep link. Ooh. Send a link to scaffold-eth. Yes, so it's easy to find. Just type scaffold-eth into Google and you will find this repo. You'll be able to land on it. Yeah, so yeah, scaffold-eth, yeah. If I just type it in and search, I'm sure the first thing is going to be the repo. Yeah, so just type in scaffold-eth into Google, you'll find it. It is scaffold-eth.io, but you'll find it. Okay, so let's say we've iterated on our smart contract and we've got it how we like it. And like I said, like spend a lot of time here, get into this dev loop and just build cool stuff. Build a to-do list. It doesn't even make sense to build a to-do list on Ethereum, but build an EVM compatible to-do list, because that'll have you making structs, that'll have you getting to arrays of structs, tons of really complicated, cool things. Try that out. But let's say you've done it, we've built this, I guess it's kind of like an attestation machine where anybody's allowed to pay some amount. Maybe we could even increase this amount, right? Maybe we start this amount. Let's do it. It'll take us 2 seconds. So UNT 256 price, right, is going to be equal to, ooh, that price isn't public. Ooh, my spidey sensors are going off. You got to make that public or it's not going to show up. There we go. And we'll set the price. It's got to be greater than equal to the price. But then right after we do this, let's do this. Price equals price times, you can't do decimals, right? So if I wanted to do times 1.1 or something like that, no, not gonna work. Let's do times 100, divide, right? There we go. Something along those lines. I think that'll work. We'll find out. There's only one way to find out. So now what I want to do is basically have the price go up by 10% each time someone sets the purpose for some reason, like one tiny little change to the solidity, we've created a whole new financial mechanic over here, right? Okay, so let's say hello 1 should cost us 0.001, I think. Let's see. Yep. But then if I try to say hello 2 at that same price, that should fail. Right. Not enough. Okay. So now it's got to be it's got to probably be that much, I think. Yep. There we go. Okay. So now we've added an extra pricing function in here where the price is going to increase, but it's basically like this attestation smart contract where people can pay to set the value. It just gets more expensive. And we just came up with that just gets more expensive thing in the last like 40 seconds. So that's really highlighting a superpower of Ethereum is your ability to innovate you were empowered to really innovate quickly with Ethereum and build some decentralized apps quickly on top of Ethereum. But with scaffold-eth, you can kind of innovate and prototype and even try 6 different things and see which one gets market fit, right? Like that's kind of some important stuff. Okay, let me make sure. Yeah, scaffold-eth. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Scaffold-eth, someone in the chat said scaffold-eth makes it easier for developer to test their smart contract and get a basic UI and understanding their functionality. Yeah, exactly. I think it helps you get your smart contract in here. You've got the front end auto adapting, so it helps you kind of poke at your contract. But a lot of it is just like I'm kind of writing this as I'm going, right? Like I was able to just like throw that new mechanic in there, and I think that's a lot. It's about that being able to innovate, be able to try things, be able to explore and prototype, right? So we just kind of built this new weird attestation box that costs more money, right? So scaffold-eth makes that really easy. Now let's take it from 0 to 1 though. So let's say we have created our app. Let's say we tinkered with it here. Then we get into the React app side and we spend some time in React getting our UI set up, right? We'd set up some UI. Maybe we would parse events and we show how people are setting it. There's an infinite amount of things you can do with React and how you want it to look. But let's just say we figured out the UI, we figured out the front end, we like the way it looks, we're ready to go to production. So here's how you take your app, and that's the key here is as you're tinkering with things, you're actually dangerously close to being able to just put the app out there for the world. And let's go ahead and do that. So let's say this attestation contract is ready. I'm going to leave me as the owner. Should I even, let's go ahead and make Austin Griffith the owner. So this is austingriffith.eth. Let's go ahead and have me as the owner, and let's make sure that all compiles and deploys. So instead of, oh wait, the owner doesn't even matter anymore. Get rid of it. We don't even need it. It's all decentralized. There is no owner, right? It's whoever is willing to pay for it. Ooh, isn't that ENS resolution nice right there in the app? You get so many handy components right in the app ready for you. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, the price is there now. I like that. Okay, cool. Let's deploy. So we've got our contract ready. We've got our front end, how we like it. It's time for us to deploy this. Well, let's pick, we probably need to pick a network. I said Kovan earlier. It's fast and I have a bunch of Kovan, so that's what I'm gonna go with. So I could do a yarn deploy -- network Kovan. Let's see, can I do that? Yep, so I could do this, but I like to code it in here. I like to kind of write it in the code. Either way works. But one other thing here is we're not gonna have a deployer account. When we spun up our local node, it came with a bunch of accounts, and one of those accounts we used as a faucet, and it ended up funding all of this and deploying the accounts for us. But when we want to deploy to a public network, we're not going to have that. So you need to add, and this is right in the repo or right in the docs now. I guess we moved it from the repo to the docs, but you need to do a yarn generate. And that's going to create that 12-word seed phrase we talked about earlier. It's going to create an account for me locally that I'm going to use as my deployer account. So I'm just going to kick a little bit of Kovan off to this address so we have it. Doop, 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 boop, 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 boop. Okay, hopefully that goes. Okay, so now in a few seconds, we should have an account that we just generated. We've funded, we're ready to deploy. Let's do a yarn deploy and have Kovan there. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's see if this deploys. So moment of truth, can we deploy to a public network? Boo, deploying your contract. Oh yeah, we're using Wigglewog's new, there's a hard hat deploy plugin for hard hat. And that's a really cool thing about this ecosystem. Everything's open source, everything's pluggable, everything's composable. We just grabbed a new deployment system and brought it into scaffold-eth the other day, and this is totally different how this works now. And you'll see, if you go back and look at some old examples, you'll find deploy scripts. And now with this new one, you've got this deploy script. Instead of scripts deploy, you've got a deploy folder. Okay, so I think we just deployed our contract to, yeah, we did. Awesome. Okay, so it's out on Kovan, but our front end is still pointed at localhost. It's still talking to this guy. So we made this one change in our hard hat config to select Kovan. Let's do the same thing in our app. So in React app, app.jsx, there's a nice little network selector right here. So we kind of pointed one satellite. We're going to point the other satellite here. We're going to point our front end at Kovan, and look what happens over here. It's like, oh yeah, I've got your contract. It's out on Kovan. You can see that now our network changed to Kovan. And just to check it, let's say test, test, test. I'm going to use a burner wallet here. Normally you probably want to hook up here. Let's do it. Let's hook up my MetaMask. Okay. Test, test, test. I'll send 0.001 Ether, hit send. Hopefully this brings up, there we go. There's my MetaMask. It's saying, do you want to do this? Yes, I do. Confirm. We get nice block native notifications now instead of my placeholder ones. We can go double check this out on, a disinterested third party like Etherscan, and then within 5 or 10 seconds we should be able to, there we go, we can read the purpose is test, test, test. So we've iterated, we've tinkered with our contract. We like where it is. We've deployed it out to a public network. By the way, I can change that Kovan to mainnet and we can go, right? Like it's that easy to point that at a main network. You'll need to pay a little bit more attention to gas, and it's real money, so be careful. But it's as easy as changing those two things to go to mainnet. So we were able to build and iterate and tinker and sort of come up with a smart contract. We were able to put the smart contract out on Kovan. Now we've got this app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a yarn build. I'm going to start building the static app. And in a little bit here, we will push this out to a public network, and you guys will be able to get in here and spend your Kovan to set the purpose in this smart contract for some reason, right? We will go full 0 to 1. There's a full deployed app by the end of this. But while this is building, let me make sure there's a couple more questions. While this is building, what is Kovan? So Kovan is a test network. Just Rinkeby is another one. Basically, they're networks that look just like Ethereum. They're just not nearly as secure, and they're good for public testing and testing out your app and testing out your UX. Ropsten is another one. It's a proof of work. So like if you really want to have a bad time, transactions are very much like on Ethereum, where it could take 15 seconds to, who knows, it's stuck forever because you put too low of gas. So Kovan is just another test network that simulates or looks like mainnet Ethereum. And by the way, that's where we do a lot of changes. I think Ropsten has already brought in EIP 1559. And so it's running on that new fork, that new standard, the new set of rules, basically. Okay, let's see. Developer-centric stuff. Oh, the networks. Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess I kind of covered that. Yeah. So different networks are going to have a little bit. So Rinkeby is 15 seconds proof of authority, I think. Kovan is 5 seconds proof of authority. Ropsten is proof of work. And I can't remember exactly, probably 15-second block proof of work. But obviously, if it's proof of work, like the blocks will come in as they do. There's no timing there. Are still in the wait list. Oh, I think some people aren't able to get in, maybe. Hopefully this is recorded and we can share it. Ooh, another good one. If you want to give Mumbai. Oh yeah, totally. So if you go look here in the networks, we have, we've even got some OVM stuff here. We've even got some L2s hidden in here. Arbitrum and Optimism. But yes, of course, we've got Matic and XDAI and Matic. What's Mumbai? Mumbai's in here somewhere. Maybe it's not. Oh no. Okay. So someone pulled that out. Sorry about that. But it's really easy to add a new RPC here, and you add the RPC in, and you can add some extra things like, do you want to hard code the gas price? And then once you select that up there, it'll work. So any of these test nets are great. Okay. What do you think about a number of decentralized exchanges? I think decentralized exchanges are really cool. I think that the fact that we can exchange stuff in a smart contract is really neat. And kind of like this new play of capital efficiency is really interesting. Uniswap used to be like, oh, I understand Uniswap. I could take that formula and I could build a price function, and I can't understand Uniswap anymore. It's gotten so complicated. It's really cool. Okay, so let's see. We've built our app, and the last thing I'm going to do is a yarn surge here, and we'll set some domain up. I don't know, what are we going to call this? Purposer. Does it work? There it goes. Okay, so we were able to bring down scaffold-eth, tinker with our Solidity locally, put a contract up on Kovan. Now we're putting an app up at a URL, and anyone can go to this app now and use and have an interface to our smart contract. If the app ever goes down, obviously the smart contract is still there and you can talk to it in Etherscan, but this gives your users a nice front end to get in here and use this. Let's see what happened. Let me connect my MetaMask. Ooh, connect my Coinbase. Look at all the things I could do there. And I'm going to say hello world. And remember, the pricing function went up, right? So it's a new price that we're going to have to pay. And I hit send, and I pay the gas, and a transaction fires. And I've used now a fully deployed dApp out on a website to interface with my contract that we started building 20-30 minutes ago. So that's kind of the crux of scaffold-eth. The thing that I want to dive into a little bit more is the scaffold-eth repo. If we go there, it's sort of like, okay, this is a quick start. I get it. I'm starting to get it. I think something really interesting to highlight here are these 218 branches. Check out the branches of scaffold-eth. If you get into these branches, sort by the active, you're going to find so many neat projects. There's so many people cloning this and coming up with just really neat things to build. I'm just going to look for, oh man, there's so many fun ones. Nifty Inc. is actually a product built with this. Let's, anyways, there's so many cool branches here. Just get it. If you land in scaffold-eth and you're looking for maybe something NFT related, you're going to find, 15 different NFT variations. If you are looking for NFTs, hit up the simple NFT example. This will run through, ooh, I guess this has changed. This will run through kind of setting you up with your own ERC 721. There's a script that lets you mint a bunch of them. You kind of have those two accounts where there's the incognito and the non, and you can kind of send those between the two of them. It's basically like, let's take this template that is for scaffold-eth, and then let's make NFT template, and then let's make an NFT marketplace template, right? So there's like hundreds of these templates coming out of scaffold-eth, and if you've used one, you kind of know where everything is and you know how to use it. So it's pretty easy to dive in and kind of iterate and build new things. Let's see. All right, so the few final things I want to look at, Denver, you let me know if I'm running overtime, or if I have like another 15, I can keep going on some other stuff.
We have another 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So to take this kind of the next step, let's say you've gotten in here, you've deployed an app, you've tinkered around, you've spent some time learning Solidity. You're like, okay, now what's next? Where do I go next? Look at those challenges we've built. So if you just type challenge in here, challenge 1, decentralized staking. I'm even going to paste that into chat here. I think that goes to everyone, but this is a really cool repo that's going to take you through building your own staking smart contract. So you build a smart contract, you require that a bunch of people have to get in and coordinate and stake, and then you have to set the contract up. So if not enough of them stake by a certain amount of time, then they need to withdraw. But if everyone stakes by a certain amount of time, then a new function happens and it sends the money from one contract to this new contract, which is just like a placeholder contract, but we'll use that in later challenges. What I want you to do is just take this. If you think you've got Solidity down and you're looking for what's the next step, how do I keep learning? How do I keep building? Check out this first challenge from scaffold-eth. And then there's a second challenge. Let's see if we go back to our challenges here. There's a second challenge there, which is a token vendor, which you deploy an ERC20 and then you deploy it into a contract, and then you have that contract sell or vend that ERC20. And if you want bonus points, have that contract buy the tokens back, because then you as the developer have to go through the process of approving the tokens and then having them sent into the contract. It sounds simple, but going through this stuff is going to open up and kind of illuminate all your blind spots, because it's complicated. You think you know everything, but I promise you there's so much more to learn. And really the best way to learn is just like building this stuff out and trying it and see where it breaks and see where your understanding kind of breaks down. Protocol to make a post request to a smart contract itself. I mean, we were making, you don't make post requests. It's not like it's a server, right? The way you talk to a smart contract is you craft up a transaction, and that transaction gets mined into Ethereum. And when everyone on the network who's holding a copy of your smart contract see that transaction, they sort of apply it to, there's no post and gets. The post and gets are going to one of those nodes, right? Like Infura holds a node, and you can post a transaction and it'll go into the mempool, or you can get some value from a smart contract. But the idea of post requests directly to a smart contract, think of it more like you have to craft up a transaction and it's asynchronous. Okay, so you've taken some challenges, you've built some stuff, you've built maybe a couple things, you can beat the challenge. Now it's time to start thinking about building a product, or building at least a prototype and getting it in some people's hands, right? The key here is you can make prototypes quickly, and you can try a couple things, and you can find that product market fit. One of the biggest pieces of advice I would have for hackathon participants, and I fell into the trap of this, I went heads down and I just fell in love with Ethereum, and I started building this thing that I thought would be very important and useful. And it turned out that it wasn't at all, and no one cared. And I spent months on it. And then I did that again with another project. I spent a lot of time with my heads down building what I thought was great, without coming up and finding validation and finding other people in a space that were working on it, finding if they've already tackled that problem. There's so much you can learn from just communicating and getting on. I mean, even like crypto Twitter, there's a lot of noise there, but I learn so much every day from the people that I follow on Twitter, and I would recommend you do the same. So I guess the next steps here, once you've kind of tinkered around, is looking at the rest of the branches and taking a new branch and taking it farther, right? And that's kind of where the build guild comes in. So thinking of scaffold-eth as a tool, the build guild is kind of the onion around that, and it's kind of like the incentivization layer. Obviously, anyone can take scaffold-eth and use it for whatever they want, and that's kind of like a metric of ours. If we see lots of weird things getting built with this, like that's what we were going for. We want to enable and empower tons of weird prototypes to get created with this. But the build guild is like a direct incentivization where I basically, I got some uni dropped to me, and I'm selling the uni off and then using it to fund developers. So I'm really lucky to be in a situation where I can kind of fund developers to keep building, and we're doing it in this really altruistic way where in the space we see a VC comes in and says, we need to build this product, and they build that product to kind of make money, and it does what it needs to do. And sure, it's open source, but it's hard as hell to fork, and they made it that way, right? I think that that's kind of against the ethos of the ecosystem in a way. And I think that what we're focusing on is building generic components that anyone can take off the shelf to make a product. When we look at any given product in the space, it kind of has some components like, could we have provided those components so someone else could build this same product without all the work that it took? So what we're looking to do is just enrich the ecosystem by building tons of different generic prototypes, products, tutorials, education material, using scaffold-eth around Ethereum. And if I just like a simple stream, a Chainlink, VRF, a token allocator. So these are branches of scaffold-eth. You could find them if we were to go look over here. If I type in token allocator, I find the same thing, right? But you can find these same builds on scaffold-eth, but these have kind of boiled up to as kind of the cream of the crop. These are kind of some of our favorite builds within the last few months. So many really great ones. There's the NFT. Actually, let's bring that NFT example in. So this is that NFT example. I think I was going to run through it a little bit, but I don't think I'll have time. But basically, it allows you to mint. Oh man, I wish that repo was. It allows you to mint NFTs and send them around. It just gives you like the whole gallery sending around. But then this was forked. So that's a simple, I can mint my own NFTs. But then from there, we created the buyer mints, right? So it's about taking a branch and kind of changing it a little bit, adding a new mechanic, trying something new. In buyer mints, see, I like when these repos are the actual tutorial like that. When the buyer mints, in this case, we don't want to pay to mint all the NFTs. We want to kind of defer that until the moment that they want to buy the NFT. So instead of the artist paying for the gas, we want the buyer of the NFT to pay the gas. And it's not that big of a change. The trick is when we deploy our contract, let's get in here. If you've used scaffold-eth, you know, you just go to packages, hard hat contracts, you know where everything is. If we get in here, we can see that there's one little change that happens. And basically when we deploy it, we deploy a set of IPFS hashes that are for sale. So we deploy an NFT contract, and basically it has a big list of all the valid pieces of art that could be minted. And that allows us then to have a storefront where anybody can see the list of things that are available to mint. And then if they would like, they hit, I want to buy that. And the buyer pays the gas to mint that piece. It goes into the contract. It says, is this available? It is. Okay, let's flag it as not available anymore, and let's mint this one to them. So kind of one little trick that we added in there kind of defers, like changes basically the economics of the system. It sets it up so the artist can say, here's, you know, I'll pay one upfront cost for the smart contract, but here's the 30 different things you can mint as a buyer. And if it gets market fit, and a bunch of people buy it, then it worked. If it doesn't get market fit, the artist didn't spend all that time minting those, and then they just have, I mean, I love all my dope, weird NFTs that I've minted over the years that no one cared about. I have a great collection of garbage NFTs that I've made, but you know, that costs money, and that pushed on the network. So I would say that, like, yeah, it's good for finding product market fit. It's good for taking a branch and extending it. And that's kind of like my overall challenge here is grab scaffold-eth, use it to kind of pick up solidity, use it to take on some of these challenges. But then it's more about like what you're interested in. If you're interested in you know, DeFi, and you want to look at like an Aave branch, we have an Aave Ape branch where it shows you how to build a contract and deploy it that lets you leverage up on Aave. And it's such a cool primitive, and you can just get in here and fork it and use it and turn it into something new, right? So whatever you're into, jump onto scaffold-eth and look through those branches, and I guarantee you'll find something close to what you want. We'll get you dangerously close to building the product that you want. And of course, like, products these days are so complicated and complex. Same thing with the hackathon projects. They're still so way too complex. Try to zoom in on just like a very, very simple MVP prototype. Try to see if that gets product market fit, and then take it the next step. Don't go heads down for 3 months building a thing and then come up and say, ta-da, and expect the world's going to love it. You really have to iterate. You really have to come to the surface. You really have to put it in people's hands and see how they use it. And that's just part of the game. That's how humans work, right? So take any of these wonderful branches and fork them. And if you would like to join the Build Guild, let's get into that. So, Nifty Inc. Wait. Let's go to Nifty Inc. real quick. So Nifty Inc. is built with scaffold-eth. You'll notice, oh, look at that. That's that same account. You'll notice that basically everything looks very scaffold-eth-ish. And this was all built with scaffold-eth. It's a product people are using. So this just hopefully highlights that scaffold-eth isn't just for prototyping. You can build complex products that people will use. And even zooming in on that a little bit more, there's kind of a subgraph tab over here. You'll notice that we have tools available for you once you need them. You don't need the subgraph at first. You can just basically fire off events, and you can use those events. And as long as you did the work to put those events into your contract, the subgraph will just be there for you when you need it. And what I mean by that is, as you scale up, as you put it out there, as you're just listing events and you start getting product market fit and those events start filling up and all of a sudden you have 1,000 events and it doesn't make sense to parse it in the front end, you can, level up and you can add that layer of abstraction and have the subgraph in the middle and have that kind of help you scale. So instead of, I'm going to look all these events and I'm going to show them off, or I'm going to display them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the subgraph parsing all my events. And when you land on the page, I'm just going to go to the subgraph and say, hey, what are the most 10 recent NFTs? And I'm going to display them, right? So there's tons of state-of-the-art tools kind of under the sheets here for you when you need them. I mentioned Block Native earlier, Tenderly for doing introspection. I think there's even a list. If we just go to the master branch, I think it's now listed like all the stuff that we're using here. The Graph, Etherscan, Infura, Block Native, cool. Alchemy too. I think we're adding Alchemy right now. Lots of state-of-the-art stuff built into this. But your focus is, I'm going to change this contract. I'm going to have it in the front end. I'm going to iterate on that dev loop. I'm going to test my assumptions. Then I'm going to start building a product or a prototype out of that. I'm going to get it in people's hands. I'm going to see how they use it. Maybe I fork in different directions depending on how people use it and what they feel. What's my favorite IDE? I'm still using Atom, but I think everybody else is using VS Code. I need to start using VS Code, but I'm still stuck. I'm an old guy, old dog, old tricks. Let's see. Final things here. We've talked about the build. Oh, funding. Okay, so yeah. So Nifty Viewer. Like I did this thing, OG NFT. .club. We did this fun thing, but a buddy of mine, Billy, was like, why is there not, like, let's say I just want to display some NFTs on a website. Let's say I want to build a website that displays NFTs. There's really not like a easy thing that you can fork to do that. And that like absolutely should have been built a long time ago. And so we just sat down and built one, right? It's an NFT viewer. And the trick with an NFT viewer is the metadata is going to be a little different. Like, is it an IPFS? Is it on a server? Do I have to get the manifest and then get it from IPFS? So there's a lot of massaging that goes into displaying NFTs. And what I did was I built this branch and I basically just put in a ton of comments for different ways. And I displayed 3 or 4 different NFT sets of NFTs and made sure that like I could code that up. And then I left it in the comments for you. So this is an example of a generic component that anybody can use and take and build something new with. And this is what we're focusing on with the Build Guild. I want to empower builders to build alongside me to build these kind of generic components that do enrich the ecosystem. And hopefully what we want to see, I want to see someone take this NFT viewer and make a product that has revenue, right? Like that's like my happy moment when I see all the weird forks of this stuff. So we're just trying to empower those weird forks to get created. Tons of things here. Oh, the Punk Wallet's another one. Wait, before I go, I gotta show off the Punk Wallet. This is such a fun way to show your friends ETH or show your friends how Ethereum works. Get some testnet ETH, go to punkwallet.io on your phone, send it around to your friends over the phone, send it like I can just scan this. When I scan someone's address and you paste it in, it like shows their image right there. Let's put in vitalik.eth. There he is. Awesome. Let's send him $1 of XDAI. Should I do it? No, I'm not going to do it. Why are you sending me this junk? Okay. No, not XDAI is not junk. It's nice. It's a great saying that I'm sending him lots of stuff. Okay. Let's see. The last thing I want to get to is builders and their funding. And I'll do this in 1 minute. If someone is building on scaffold-eth, if they're extending things, if they're building tutorials, anything interesting that you're doing that's enriching the space, if you're doing it with scaffold-eth, we want to stream ETH to you to keep doing that. We're also starting this new thing called a Moonshot Collective, which is just like Build Guild, but we're zooming in on DAO components, right? We had a big DeFi wave, we had a big NFT wave. Now we're kind of in this DAO governance wave. Let's build governance tools. So generic components, Build Guild. If you're building generic governance components, then it's like a double awesome, because we want to fund you for that, and we want to get more generic governance components getting created. So basically, all these funders found scaffold-eth, they liked it. What they did is they got in and they started adding a new branch, and then they just pasted in, hey, this is a challenge I'm working on, this is a thing I built. They dropped it into chat. We see it, we pick them up, and we start streaming to them. So basically, if you want to get involved, funding, you can go here, you can say, okay, I want to fund, a couple of these builders. You can go check out and send them some funds. You can send funds directly to the ETH or Build Guild, but I'm doing a bunch of fundraising to get money into the Build Guild, so then I can empower more of these developers to just keep building cool generic components that anyone can fork and build real products with. So I think that's about it for me. A lot of speed run there. The TLDR is just go pick up scaffold-eth and start playing around with it. You have that really nice experience right here where you've got your smart contract on one side, you've got your front end on the other side. You can tinker and you can test your assumptions. Denver, thanks for having me, man. Happy Bowtie Friday.
Awesome. Yeah, love the energy, and that was that was amazing. And I think personally like scaffold-eth a lot, and think looking forward to a lot of cool things being built with it. Appreciate it, man.
I see some other dudes popping in too. Good to see familiar faces. Thanks for having me, guys. Happy Bowtie Friday.
Thanks, Austin. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So that was Austin Griffith, and thanks again, Austin, for everything that you do, and your efforts. Much appreciated. Love the energy. Next up, we have our keynote address from the co-founder and CEO of Polygon, Sandeep Nirwal. Sandeep, glad to have you.
Hey guys, Denver, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Just
first of all, thanks to Austin for delivering an amazing session, and he's one of the kind of most prolific contributors in terms of education of the developers in blockchain, and really I mean, it's always great to have him start these events. So thanks Austin. From my side, like, I mean, I just want to start on the note of giving a tribute to our great friend Shakti, who was the founder of DevFolio, and unfortunately, as many of you guys would know, that he kind of expired in this recent COVID rage. And I think wherever Polygon is today, I think it wouldn't have been possible without the help of DevFolio, and without the vision of Shakti, because he was one of the first people, I would say, I mean, at least whom I came across, who thought so deeply about the open source industry, as well as the ethos of crypto ecosystem, building an open platform where developers can come and learn new things, and explore blockchain. So I mean, I still when I'm thinking about it, still can't imagine that he's not here with us. So I mean, a tribute to him. I want to start with that. Then so from my side, I would say that why I mean, all of you guys, first of all, congratulations to all of you that you have made to this step, because I can guarantee you one thing, that this would, for many of you guys, this can be a life-changing event, and that, like it has been for many of the developers in this space who have gone on to become really celebrated entrepreneurs in the space, be it our friends from InstaDapp, be it our friends from a lot of teams who went on to become Tachyon, whether it be about friends from let's say Parcel and Multisign and whatnot. All of these companies are doing really great now and have very celebrated VCs backing them, and many of their journeys started from some or the other hackathon of DevFolio. EPNS, for example, right? So all of these guys, somewhere or the other are, tied to EPNS, tied to DevFolio or Polygon, right? Somewhere or the other, like we have been doing hundreds of hackathons every year. And I know a lot of people who joined these hackathons as third year students, and then eventually participated in 2-3 college hackathons, and then came to ETH India, and then came completely got in. Sorry, completely got.
Yeah, I think Sandeep will be back soon. And for the most part of it, like, really appreciate. I can't say this enough. Really appreciate everything, all the love and support.
Sorry,
especially Sandeep. Yeah.
Sorry, Denver. I had
no worries.
So I was saying that I mean, all of these things have been somewhere or the other related to the journey with some of these hackathons that DevFolio team and us have been doing, whether it's college hackathons or these ETH India monthly hackathons. And let's make sure what our friend Shakti envisioned. We are able to take this forward, and really the dream that we all saw when we first did our ETH India hackathon in 2018, when we kind of did a pre-event and Shakti came to Mumbai, and we wanted to make India a powerhouse of blockchain. Let's commit, and let's commit to that cause, and keep doing good work. Just just give me 1 sec, and then
sure.
I'm just secondly, like the second part is that I mean, from my side, like the journey, as I was saying, that for everyone, this journey can be one of the kind of pivotal points of your lives, and I mean 100% when I say this, that this hackathon can actually be one of the best things that could have happened to you guys, where you can think about some of your business idea, which ends up you making a multi-$100 million valuation decentralized project. And so take it very seriously, and work on this. For us also, it has been incredibly rewarding in terms of my journey from starting Matic and then becoming Polygon. And like now Polygon is like probably after Ethereum, it is the second largest adopted platform globally in terms of number of dApps, and the developers are building on it. And like this is something that makes you wake up and work 20 hours a day even now, that feeling of creation. And I hope that you guys experience that feeling of creation in this hackathon, and build some cool things. Also, like this, as I was saying, that ETH India, I mean, I think it's a stepping stone for all the Indian developers. A lot of like the panelists and the teams who would be reviewing your projects, people like Austin and all that, they are the kind of most reputed and most respectable people in the space. And if you build something cool where some of these illuminaries like your ideas, they can open hundreds of doors for you, and you can then really build something remarkable and something big. And overall, as I can say that, right, this field, like if you are here, that's why I congratulated you guys. If you are here, you are still very early, and this whole kind of super cycle is just getting started. I was just right now 5 minutes back, I was speaking to a large organization, one of the largest organization in the world. They want to do something in blockchain, and then it's about, we are about 1.5 years away from clicking that supreme, like crypto super cycle, maybe 2 years away. So this is the time for you to learn and experiment and build big things when this industry is really going to go mainstream. And Web3 is going to be the norm, where how we interact with today's internet. So So with that, I will again congratulate and welcome you all, and wish you all the best to do your best efforts and create something cool out of this. Thank you so much, Denver.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sandeep, for that, and especially also thank you for all that you did when we needed your help the most, and really appreciate our work together. And I'm sure Shakti would be very proud of the meteoric rise of Polygon. And one thing I'd like to mention is that we've seen and worked closely with your team, and have seen all the ups and downs with your team. And no matter what, I believe that it's the spirit and the intentions that matter. And as long as people like you have their intentions and everything right, we can make it work. Really appreciate it, Sandeep.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. All right, folks. So that was Sandeep Nerwal. And so next we'll have our sponsors who will be presenting their bounties. And I really hope it works this time. If not, I'm just going to read that out. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, but am I able to change it? Okay. Apparently, okay, I am. Okay, so first off, huge thanks to Ethereum Foundation, who's made this and many of our events possible. Without their support, we wouldn't have been able to pull a lot of our initial events. Also, they have been supporting us right from the start. And even without any expectations of whether the event would be good or not, and then we've luckily had some good outcomes, and really appreciate their support through the years. Next up, we'll have Polygon. We have a sponsor, Polygon. I think Muskan from Polygon would be joining in. Right. Don't see Muskan in here right now. Maybe I will get back to that. Next up, we can have Frontier. Dhaval from Frontier is here. Hey, Dhaval.
Hey, hi, Denver. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Nice to have you here.
Yes.
Yeah, excited to see things built on Frontier, and yeah.
Definitely. So may I start the presentation?
Sure. Go ahead.
If you may just enable screen share, then I can just pull up a brief presentation on this.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me. Yeah. Are you able to screen share? You just check.
Yeah, I can now. Okay, so hi everyone. Okay, very happy to be here amongst all the participants. A warm welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Denver, Akash, and rest of the team for having us here at Frontier. We're quite happy to, participate in this hackathon, as well as share what we're doing at Frontier, and would love to talk to some of the participants as well. Okay, proceeding further, what is Frontier? To those that don't know, okay, Frontier solves, DeFi's biggest problems. Frontier is essentially a mobile app for both iOS and Android. And what we do is we solve DeFi's three biggest concerns. What we did is we conducted a focus group study, and we tried to understand what are the root causes why that can essentially improve DeFi adoption. Okay, the first thing that we saw is address fragmentation. Okay, currently DeFi is spread across several chains. Okay, across say Ethereum, Polygon, BSC, okay, Avalanche, okay, Kava, and many others. Okay, the biggest issue users face is, maintaining multiple addresses, okay, with their own private keys. Okay, the second issue is platform dependency. Okay, if you wish to transact from, everybody, I think a seasoned DeFi user on an average has about 14 wallets. Okay, so there is always the issue of platform dependency that's created. Which wallet do you link to MetaMask? Okay, and then switching between those wallets, finding out how much balances you have across them, okay, is also a major blocker. The third one is, substandard user interface and user experience. What we've seen with DeFi is that, for any of the participants that are also DeFi users, you would have noticed that, every single protocol, okay, has its own user interface. And let's say, if there are dexes that are, on different chains, okay, they have their own UI, they have their own workflow around it, okay, making it, further challenging for users to be brought on board. Okay, so how does Frontier solve all of these three problems? With regards to address fragmentation, Frontier allows users to create a wallet, okay, that has the same private key across different chains. Currently, users are able to create wallet on Ethereum, Polygon, BSC, Avalanche, Algorand, Tezos. Okay, soon we're adding support for Casper Labs as well as other L1s as well. Okay, so this is what Frontier does. The platform dependency is Frontier, is also behind an innovation called TX Link. TX Link is a middleware that connects, okay, the user wallets, okay, to Frontier, and the users can choose, okay, the wallet of their choice towards the end of the transaction, thereby further simplifying it. Third one is with regards to substandard UI. What Frontier does is it has like a simple common UI across different chains. So the way you interact with Yearn is the same way you would interact with Autofarm on BSC. Proceeding further, what are Frontier's most popular features? Okay, Frontier allows, okay, everyone to benefit from DeFi. Okay, how does it do so? One is the earn feature. Okay, you can stake your several assets, okay, and earn interest on top of it. Okay, second one is smart notifications. Let's say, you create a CDP and you borrow against it. Okay, we all fear the risk of being liquidated. Okay, Frontier, creates these notifications, okay, allowing users to not get liquidated sufficiently in advance. Okay, so that you can either add more collateral and close your CDP. Okay, or you can withdraw the amount altogether. The third one is, it also has like native compound Aave, Uniswap, Sushi Swap integration. While these are primarily on Ethereum, okay, we've seen, Sushi and many others pivot to Polygon as well. And, support is being added for all of these too. We also have the Trust and Coinbase wallet native integration. So if you just have Trust and Coinbase wallet app on your phone with your private keys in it, okay, Frontier seamlessly allows you to transact there. With regards to an exchange, Frontier makes sure that you get the best available exchange rates across Texas. Making sure you get a better rate, okay, with a lower gas fee as well. Staking also allows DeFi users to make the most of their assets. I'm sorry, there seems to be some glitch here. Okay, it allows DeFi users to make the most of their assets. Okay, so you can stake across multiple validators, all from one single mobile interface. Okay, at Frontier, we're hiring right now. Okay, we have a strong 15-member team. Okay, they're spread across the world. Okay, I am located in Calgary in Canada. Okay, some of our members are in Vietnam. Okay, some of them are in different parts of India. Okay, so why may you consider working at Frontier? Because at Frontier, we encourage upskilling. We always encourage, some of our new joinees are as young as 19-year-olds. Okay, and we're constantly encouraging them to upskill. Okay, we have a very high learning scope as a startup. Okay, so in a startup, you're more than welcome to start pitching in marketing, in biz dev, in QA testing. Okay, so it's a very, very open environment for people to work in different divisions. Third one is flexibility. Okay, you have the flexibility to work from home at hours of your preference. We all know that developers have, certain times when they're super productive, at certain times they're not. Okay, so you enjoy this flexibility as well. We use several tools to make sure that, everybody is in sync. Okay, fourth one is a very, very strong and promising one. This is a sunrise sector. Okay, specifically, with regards to blockchain. As Sandeep mentioned, in his speech before, okay, we see several entrepreneurs that have been very, very successful. Just, a couple of weeks back, I was talking to a 13-year-old, okay, that has built, a DeFi dApp on Polygon, and he already has 7 million of TVL. So this sunrise sector, if you're in this hackathon, I presume you're already interested in being in this. I strongly encourage you to go further with it. We have a strong support system. Okay, everybody's accessible. Okay, everybody's just a Slack message away, and one can hop on a call. Sixth, and this is a very, very important point. Okay, at Frontier, we have been investors ourselves in several different projects. I used to be previously the co-founder at Woodstock Fund. Okay, at Frontier, we have jointly invested in 20 plus projects, and we continue to do so. So what we do is we constantly share deals with our colleagues. Okay, make sure that they benefit from it, and start making real and significant money in it. Focus on mental health and holistic life balance. So we have an HR team that is constantly addressing our developers' mental health, making sure that they're strong-willed. If there are any areas of support that are not brought in to the attention of our team, they're rapidly being addressed. And at Frontier, our culture is every team member is a valued partner. Okay, there's several incentives, okay, in the long-term success of Frontier, okay, that are aligned with our new joinees as well. And last but not the least, we encourage diversity and inclusion. Okay, so we're constantly looking at team members from different parts of the world. Okay, and we are also an equal opportunity employer. So that's my presentation. Our goal here is to encourage developers to join Frontier. And here are some key statistics about Frontier, okay, which you can find out from our other social channels as well. Okay, we have 60,000 plus app users. The wallet being tracked is 635,000. Okay, weekly asset flow through Frontier is 5,000 ETH. That is every single week. Our daily active users is 3,100 plus. Weekly active is 15,700. Time spent on Frontier is 7 minutes. We've had several media mentions, Twitter followers, and so on. I strongly encourage you to reach out to us. This is my email address, dhaval@frontier.xyz. You can also hit me up on Telegram and Twitter at dhaval0921. And we're looking forward to speak to you. Thank you so much, Denver.
Thanks a lot, Dhaval. Yep, cool stuff with Frontier, and really looking forward to where to the exciting things you have planned, and hope you find some good folks also to work with at ETHOdyssey and in the hackathons ahead. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Denver. I wish all the best to all of the participants.
Yep. Thanks a lot. So next up, and I think, yeah, I hope you can see my screen again. Next up, we'll have Julian from StakeDAO. Julian, how are you doing?
Hey guys, can you? Yeah, I don't have a presentation, so can you guys see my camera or?
Yeah, I can see you. And
okay, how can I see? Because I can see the presentation right now, the logo. But can you switch to my video? Otherwise, it's a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Nice. Okay.
Nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm one of the contributor and founder of StakeDAO. So StakeDAO is a decentralized exchange where you can basically manage your crypto from buying, selling in a very simple way, and also invest in different strategies. So we provide the best APY currently on the market based on Curve, but for the USD, Euro, ETH, and BTC strategies. And we also provide a staking mechanism on the protocol level, and also the best swap. So it's like an exchange that is built on the top of a few different routes. So if you want to swap your assets, this is also the best place for it. But basically, what we're looking for anyone that wants to build on the top of the platform, either on the front end, and also on the smart contract level. So from building some advanced strategies to increasing the analytics, from increasing the analytics, or from building some native staking on the protocol side. This is so all kind of skills, from Solidity to JavaScript, Python, Go, Rust, all those kind of different skills that we're looking for. And StakeDAO is made in such a way that you don't necessarily need a Web3 wallet. So what we're trying to do is, like, from the mobile and also from the platform, providing the same experience that you will find on a Binance or Kraken or any centralized exchanges, but in a really decentralized and non-custodial way. That's what we. And then so I've got the page open. So then on the bounties side, what we're willing to offer, I can. So basically, this is so yeah, 4,500 for the strategies. So if you guys come up with like a very nice strategy that can be added inside the DAO, then we're willing to give 4,500. So we have some ideas for that. For example, like high frequency arbitrage strategy, the chase, the APY on the Curve pools. We also have like 2,500 US dollars for tooling and periphery. So for example, if you guys want to build like a Zap mechanism or a flexible framework, so for example, like change our current SDK or update our APY or bring some analytics to do analytics or build some GraphQL thing. We also like provide some nice UI if you want to build and increase the type of the UI things that you can also. And then, yeah, basically anything that you can provide as a value into the project, then we'll be willing to give you a price for that. You can maybe like, I could go and share the screen and maybe go to the app if you guys want. Really quick if I got more time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I will need to switch my my screens though. But if you give me a couple of seconds, then you can ask me a question, for example. But otherwise, I would join from my laptop and share you the screen.
Sure.
Give me a quick sec. I will.
Yeah.
It's loading. Just Zoom super slow.
Yeah, no worries. So Julian, like in the meantime, would just like to know your experience, like how has it been building StakeDAO? I know, it's been quite the journey, and how's your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, sure, I can computer audio. Okay, cool. I'm mute. Okay, so I will leave from this one and then join the next one. Yeah, I mean, on the development of Stake DAO, I mean, building a project is always it's always like you have some like always like if you're building a project and you're not facing any challenges, it means that you're not actually building something that is useful. And also when you're building something, you should expect some people going after some time of the thing that you're building, because it's either affecting their own agenda. So it's always like, yeah, building means if you have people talking about whatever you're building, it means that you're actually in the right path. And never listen to people. That's always what I say, like never listen to the naysayers. Basically the people that are telling you that this is not the correct way of building and the correct way of I mean, this is not good what you're doing. As long as you're building something that is useful for the community and people start using it, and it means that it's actually you're on the right path. But yeah, I mean, building it's takes a lot of your time and a lot of energy. But if you're very passionate about building technology, then I think nothing can actually stop you. That's what would be my recommendation. And yeah, let me just switch into this so I can share my screen. And then please ask me any questions. Okay, so share the screen. Nice.
Yeah,
I can
and
share.
100% agree with what you said. Like if you're having fun while you're building and you're passionate about it, it's all worth it in the end. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can see
Okay,
it.
cool. Oh, awesome. Yeah. So let me first. So this is like Stake DAO. So if you go the on page, we try to make it very simple, but at the same time, you can also find crypto tutorials. So if you want to learn about like some programming mechanism, if you want to have access to the academy and also documentation about how to build on top of the project, then this is what we have a Git book. So you can find information about where to find the different endpoints, the services, the strategy, the governance, build on top of it. The academy is for you to learn about, I mean, if you're new to this space and you want to quickly learn about what is a stablecoin, what is a DAO, how to access, like how to manipulate the gas, how to access the main pool, and how to send transaction. This is what we have, and this is like pretty intense. So we try to make it things super simple. And then you can, so you go to Stake DAO, you can open the app. You either can connect using your Web3 MetaMask, like Wallet Connect, Ledger, or whatever, or you can also like connect to email, so you don't need actually. And then you have access to your dashboard. This is probably one of the best dashboards you can find on the DeFi ecosystem. So we have been building and integrating a lot of different things for you to track your different assets. For example, the asset that you have locked in different protocols, the different deposit that you have into different protocols, the loan, so the money that you've been borrowing, and the different Stake DAO assets that you've been staking inside the platform. Let me zoom in. You can also find history about all the different assets, all the different activity that you've been having using your wallet. And you can search for like anything. For example, like I want to find all the Blackpool token. I want to find all the CRV token. Boom, super simple. The trade feature is this one. I don't think you can find any better quote on the market. If you're looking, for example, to buy, I don't know, like Curve token, for example, boom, it will give you the price in real time. And also if you, like, for example, you say, I want to swap 0.2 ETH, then it will tell you also the best routing that you can find, and it will proceed through those different routes. It also tell you the fees and the maximum that you receive. On the strategies level, we have integrated 3 different networks, 3 different protocols: Ethereum, Binance, and Polygon. And on those 3 different networks, we focus on 4 different strategies. So the US dollars, the Euro strategy, which is here, the E strategy, and the BTC strategy, the Bitcoin strategy. And we have not many different strategies, but we try to always provide the best APY on the entire ecosystem. And this is actually what takes us the most of our time. For example, in the Euro strategy, you can add almost like 20% APY. And this is like without doing any yield farming. This is just native staking. And then if you want to do like a little bit more, then we also incentivize those different pools. So for example, we have the Ethereum/SDT asset that you can stake and then can earn rewards. And for example, the Euro pool, we then can go up to 28%. This is all different things. And we try to make it everything like really simple for people. So for example, if you click on this strategy, it will tell you what it does. It will tell you where it comes from, the strategy address, and then your share and how you can basically delegate into this pool. We also have integrated about 8 different languages. This is also like something that we have. And then we have staking. So staking is for the different protocols. So you can join Solana, Polygon, LivePeer, Tezos. We aiming to list before the end of the year 20 different protocols. And then we'll have liquid staking and being able to cross chain and have all the bridges being that you can go from one protocol to another one. On the governance level, this is where you can stake your stake DAO token and earn all the profits from the DAO. And for example, like you click and you'll see like for now we're paying 115% APY on the staking of a stake DAO token. And then we have the marketplace, and this is something that should go live it will go live next week. Is for people that are staking some NFT inside what we call the Palace. This will basically be monitoring the entire activity on a DAO, and then on the using snapshot mechanism and Merkle airdrop, will basically be giving rewards to the people that have been providing the most value to the DAO, but also will be increasing the boost, paying the gas fee, subsidizing all the different costs, and etc. You can, of course, buy some crypto directly into the website. And we try to provide the best quotes, for example, €100. And then, for example, the fee will be just €100. This fee will be just like €2.5, for example. Yeah, that's it. I'm not sure if you guys have questions. Yep. Happy to answer them.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Julian, for that quick overview. StakeDAO looks amazing, and excited for all the strategies that will come up. And I think we also have like a dedicated workshop for StakeDAO coming up next week, and would be really great to dive deeper into StakeDAO and learn more about how to build with it and the possibilities of all the different possibilities that the StakeDAO money Legos opens up.
Yeah, I mean, please, thank you very much. I mean, if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to us on the Discord or our Telegram, and also on our Twitter, and that will be a great pleasure from us to answer your questions. And thanks for organizing this great hack.
Thanks a lot, Julian.
Cool, guys. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Polygon. We have Muskan from Polygon, who will be talking about the exciting bounties they have up for grabs. Hey, Muskan.
Yeah,
hi.
Yeah, hi, Denver. Really excited to be here. So hey everyone, I am Muskan. I lead developer relations at Polygon, and really excited to be here. I think we have been involved with Devfolio a lot. We have been doing every other hackathon with them, so it has been a great experience always. So I'll just start with covering about Polygon a bit. I think before this, Sandeep had a session. He must have covered a lot, but I'll just cover a bit about Polygon. I can share my screen, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Give me a second. Yeah, you can see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So Polygon is you can call it as a scaling aggregator. So why by scaling aggregator, what I mean is that there are a lot of scaling solutions out there in the space right now. It's a ZK rollups, optimistic rollups, and it's chains like chains like POS, plasma chains. So basically, Polygon is like a scaling aggregator. Like be it any other scaling solution, you'll be able to find everything on one platform. So that's how Polygon is becoming. Basically, it's becoming a Swiss Army knife for all Ethereum scaling platforms. So yeah, but this will take a little time to develop. And as of now, the production ready chain is Polygon POS chain, which is a well adopted chain. I think there are more than 400 plus applications which are deployed on Polygon. And a Polygon POS chain, it's a commit chain to Ethereum, and it's EVM compatible chain. So all the tools and functionalities which are compatible with Ethereum, they are with Polygon too. So it's really simple to build and experiment stuff with Polygon. We usually say this internally that if you are a Ethereum developer, you're already a Polygon developer, because you just need to change one single RPC and you are done. You can deploy your contracts in Polygon and you can scale it, because gas fees is really cheap, and you can really experiment stuff with Polygon. So yeah, I think that's all about Polygon in a nutshell. And about the bounties. So I'll just cover a bit about bounties. Sorry for all these tabs, a lot of work happening. So yeah, so we are giving a total of $5,000 in Mematic. So Mematic is the first Polygon native stablecoin. So we'll be giving out the prize in Mematic this time. And we have 5 tracks. First is Polygon ecosystem tooling. So we have shared a couple of ideas here. First is build an RPC health monitoring tool. There are a lot of RPCs on Polygon, so you can build a tooling where you can determine the health of a particular RPC. And then next is a bridge to transfer funds from Flow blockchain to a Polygon and vice versa. That's track 1. That's called Polygon ecosystem tooling. And second is some creative educational videos on Polygon. Something like how to implement Chainlink oracles in Polygon, how to use Graph with Polygon, and then how to transfer your assets from Ethereum to Polygon and vice versa. You can create some videos around it. So that's track 2. If you're not a developer, but you are good in content creation, then this track is for you. And third is a gaming NFT track. So this is for a DApp built on this is a DApp related to some gaming NFT. This is track 3, and then track 4 is a track related to DeFi, any kind of a DeFi DApp. We have also shared some ideas here if you want to work on one of them. And last is of course open track. If you want to build anything else which is not there in the tracks, you can do that. It's really simple and cheap to experiment things with Polygon, so you can definitely do that. And if you have any kind of queries, I've shared the Discord link here. So you can join our Discord, and all the technical team is available there. You can ask your queries, and then you can ask, you can ping me also, any other in the team. We would love to help you guys. And all the developer documentation, is pretty extensive. You can find all the details there. So all the developer documentation links are shared here, just to get your journey and get started with Polygon. So yeah, I think that's all about bounties. And then I would like to wish you all luck, and then I really hope we'll get some good hacks coming out of ETHOdyssey. And then also it's not about the hackathon. If you want to continue on your project after the hackathon, feel free to reach out to us. We will definitely would love to support you in your journey and your Web3 journey. You can definitely reach out to me directly. I'll definitely support you in whatever projects you are building upon. So yeah, I think that's all about Polygon and the bounties. So yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Muskan. And yeah, really excited to see the stuff that's built on Polygon. And yeah, something to really note is that building on Polygon is just one step beyond building on Ethereum. You already have your project built on Ethereum, and all you have to do is just switch some RPC, and your DApp is on Polygon. And yeah, it's easy as that. Looking forward to some cool hacks.
Yeah, same here. Really excited.
Yeah, thanks. So next up, we'll have Filecoin. We have Vukasin was hey Vukasin.
Hey, can everyone see me, right?
Yeah,
I can just see Filecoin. Yeah, so I'm also going to share my screen and go through the slides if you can give me access.
Yeah, go ahead. You should be able to.
Great. Okay, so yeah, hi, my name is Vukasin. I'm from Filecoin. Actually, I'm from Protocol Labs, and Protocol Labs is the org behind Filecoin and IPFS. So some of the things that we're working on is, of course, protocols like Filecoin. You surely heard about it, but we're also working a lot on research that is actually making possible those and many other projects that are based on the research that Protocol Labs did. Of course, another project is IPFS. IPFS is surely something that you heard. Basically, every NFT that exists today on the planet is most likely on IPFS. Also, the Filecoin network was released around 1 year ago, and it currently has more than 6 exabytes of data. And actually, it's almost at 7 exabytes of data. And you can imagine about all the use cases that you can actually do with such a big amount of storage. Also, keep in mind that if you can have like some useful data stored on the network and you can prove that that data is useful, you might also get storage for free. So you might also think about use cases where like the cost of actually storing those on the cloud today is prohibitively expensive, and that wouldn't be possible in a centralized environment. Those use cases are now being opened with the amount of storage that we basically opened up to the rest of the world. Not only is it more affordable and more open to everyone, it also allows you to do a bunch of very cool things, like you could prove that some storage was on the network at a particular point in time, because like we're generating zk snarks every around 24 hours and so on. So you can imagine about there's so many use cases that require you to prove that something that was basically sent at a particular point in time. So for example, you can think about use cases like insurance, where maybe you have like a car that has many sensors that are basically proxying through a server data to Filecoin. And then like the insurance company tells you that you were actually driving fast, but then you can prove that actually that was not correct, because at a particular point in time that data was stored on the Filecoin network, for example. Also, some of the work that we are doing is focused on more of an infrastructural work. So Lib peer-to-peer is an example of that. And Lib peer-to-peer is being used like all around the place, like Ethereum 2.0, of course, Filecoin, of course, IPFS, and so on. You can find many implementations of Lib peer-to-peer, mainly in Go, that's being supported by us, but you can also like see them in Rust, JavaScript, and so on. So with IPFS, what you can do is you can focus like on addressing content by the content rather than the location. So for example, instead of like waiting for basically searching for like some file on S3 through a link, what you're doing is basically you're searching for the content itself. Of course, you're doing that through a content ID, which is basically a hash of that content. And you're able to retrieve that from the network without having to care about where from the content is going to be retrieved in that particular case. Also, you can think about how to actually use IPFS for the cryptographic verifiability it allows you to do, also for the way that you're going to be retrieving that content, and basically the contextual trust models that are being enabled by IPFS. Many tools currently exist for IPFS. One of the ones that probably will help you the most if you're new to IPFS and you would rather not use the CLI is the IPFS desktop app. And you can use that, but you can also like use Brave, which currently has like native support for IPFS. So basically Brave can act as your IPFS node if that's what you want to do. And yeah, many other tools that are out in the open, developed by community members. Now, we especially want to invite you to like work on an NFT storage, which is a new initiative coming from Protocol Labs, which basically allows you to store your NFTs on both IPFS and Filecoin at the same time. Now, why this is important? It's because IPFS basically allows you to store the data like in a decentralized way and address that content by the content address. But it does not guarantee you that that data is always gonna live on the network forever, which is something that you really wanna have for NFTs. Because if there is some value involved in the content of that NFT, you really wanna make sure that that content never gets lost. This is a service that we have built around a month ago, and it's basically free. You can easily use it. Let me actually show you how it works. So basically, you go to the landing page. If you want to get started, of course, you sign up. You're going to get an API key, and basically, it's very easy for you to actually use it from the front end with the JavaScript libraries, but also like from the server. Then what we also want to invite you to use is Slate. For the ones that did not know, Slate is also like a project coming from Protocol Labs, which basically allows you to store like some images, also GIFs, and basically share it with the particular persons that you want. You can think of Slate a bit like Instagram but based on like decentralized technologies. But at the same time, we would never like have the same values as is Instagram, in the sense that Slate is meant to be very open, and everyone should be able to actually access all the information that is hosted on Slate, because of course the information is on IPFS and Filecoin. And the way it works, it allows you to also like interact with that storage in a much simpler way. So for example, we give you some examples that you can run in JavaScript or even Python. And yeah, basically you can interact with that content. And I mean, I think it can be very cool because it basically allows you that fundamental infrastructure that you need with like Slate that allows your users to see the content, but you can then basically leverage that content that the user has and do many more things on that. For example, instead of just showing like the pictures in a neutral way as Slate is doing, you might want to filter the pictures that feel you good. For example, the ones that are basically in your opinion based maybe on some AI are like making you happier, or the ones that are making you more calm and things like that. In fact, we are also like putting a bounty just for the usage of those applications. So there is like a 5,000 USD in Filecoin that is just going to be allocated on the best apps using Slate and NFT.storage. Other than that, like the first prize is going to get 2,000 USD in fill. The second prize is going to get 1,000, and then the next four prizes, so basically the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, are going to get 500 USD. So we invite you to learn more about both IPFS and Filecoin on like our blogs, but also like on the landing page. You can see here, like there is a lot of interesting material that you can go through. You can use our doc to understand like all the networks that are live that you can use, like the testnet, but you can also like explore the other implementations of Filecoin, for example. Portis written in Rust, maybe you want to decide at some point that you want to contribute to that implementation, or you want to contribute to the one that we are contributing to, which is Lotus, or you want to write some C++. and you want to contribute to Fusion. So yeah, thank you for listening. And yeah, I hope that you're going to build great things. We are going to be available on Slack and Discord. So ping us if you have any questions about Filecoin or IPFS.
Yep. Thanks a lot for question. And, really stoked to see what these hackers will build with IPFS and Filecoin. And, like there's some really great resources. Proto School in particular is amazing. So with all that in place, we're really looking forward to what gets built.
Yeah, and we are just at the beginning. So if DeFi is in the beginning, this is in the infancy. And you could also like see the progress that was made in DeFi, and the people that focused on building DeFi apps. They did quite many things right now, especially with the boom of DeFi. The same is going to happen for decentralized storage and decentralized applications. So if you want to be early in a movement that is just getting started, please build on decentralized technologies like IPFS and Filecoin.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, with that, we have our next sponsor, that's Unmarshall. Hey, Manor.
Hey, hi, how are you?
Nice to have you.
Can you just enable me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
You should be able to share now.
Hey, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Manohar. I started Unmarshall almost 6 months ago, and at Unmarshall, we aim to become the easiest way to query blockchain data from multiple chains, including Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon, Polkadot, and a lot more chains. So we've kind of partnered with like almost 8 chains, and we already serve data on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. So cool. So what is Unmarshall? Unmarshall is a multi-chain DeFi data network. By that we mean like storing data in blockchain is like a very useful way, and then we all know the use cases, and like you all know the phenomenon, the decentralized way of storing data, especially blockchains, right? So we know what wonders it can, but like we kind of missed one piece of work there, like accessing that data back to Web 2. With Web 2, we kind of understood the power that data holds. So data is the fuel of this generation, and like with Web 3.0, I think that will continue, and Unmarshall is here to help like navigate that bridge. So what are the missing blocks of DeFi as of now? Like accessing structured data is like a bit difficult. Like if somebody says, hey, give me all the transactions I made in past 7 days, or if somebody comes and says like who made a lot of transactions on a particular token, example Unmarshall, in last 7 days, and give me like top 3 of them. So these are the questions like which are like very useful to know the answers for, but like which is really difficult to get straight from the blockchain. So that's where the indexing protocols come. And even in looking at the current indexing protocols, we still miss a lot of things such as multi-chain interoperability and scalability with the new protocol. As and when the new protocol comes, there should be an easier way to like index all of them, and multiple data avenues. For example, just getting the APIs is not enough. Like people need to get the data in as many formats as possible. For example, push notifications, web sockets, and web streams, so that people can build their applications much faster. So we personally think Web 3.0 should be built as composable unit, where people do one thing at a time, and like they do it really well, and they help the other person to do their job well. So that's where Unmarshall comes in. By Unmarshall, the composable APIs, there's a huge need of that. Cool. So this is a simple framework of what Unmarshall actually does. So we index the data from multiple chains including like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polkadot, Near, etc. And we store the data in a kind of intermediate format, like some sort of RDBMS of blockchain, just for the accessing of the data. And that becomes that opens up a lot of doors to build stuff which can answer like a lot of difficult queries. And we serve this data in as many formats as users may want, including we have an example where we serve the data in a CSV file as well. Because like Unmarshall restricts ourselves into our DeFi specific protocol, we can identify certain data elements and data packages, and which can help the DeFi applications really well. So we kind of have notification engine, token store, profit and loss engine, and including the tax engine, and also DeFi state engine. By that we mean how much money you have borrowed from someone in Aave, or how much liquidity you have provided in UniSwap or PancakeSwap. So these are the things that you can answer easily. So you can just think about Unmarshall as a SQL storage of blockchain. You can like answer, like you can get build as complex query as possible and still get the data. So we are trying to automate that process, but until then, like Unmarshall team will help you to create the custom API you want. As far as ETHOdyssey is concerned, like Unmarshall team loves the hackathons and conferences. In fact, I've written a blog that says like why one should attend the blogs in early his career, our career. So like we all share the same culture, and it kind of continued in Unmarshall as well. So we are happy to say that ETHOdyssey is the first conference or first hackathon we are sponsoring, and hopefully like first of many. And we would love to see people build something on Unmarshall. So you can use our Unmarshall APIs, and we'll be distributing a prize of 5,000 USDT worth of Marsh in bounties. So they're like we're gonna choose like three best applications. The first one will get like 2.5 K worth of Marsh, and second prize will be like 1.5, and third would be 1,000. Along with that, you'll also get like free API usage for like until like if you kind of carry on to build that application and like host it, like Unmarshall APIs would be like we'll be powering your application for like until like few years, like if you want. And you'll also get like mentorship for like first 3-4 months from Unmarshall's tech team if you really want to convert your idea. Like you can build something like Stake DAO using Unmarshall API. I mean, like not everything, but like I think part of it, like we would be able to support you with the data source, like as a read-only data to build such applications. Like one such example would be Xscan, where you can like look at all your assets, like tokens under multiple blockchains. Like under one tab, you can see Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. Feel free to go and visit docs.unmarshall.io to see what APIs you can. And if you need some custom APIs, feel free to ping our team. So we'll see a way to kind of be in the same room as you, so that we can help you with your queries. And yeah, that's all. Happy building.
Yep, for sure, Manohar. And yeah, really glad to have Unmarshall over this time. Looking forward to all the exciting stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what people come up with.
Yeah, thanks, Manohar.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Next up, we have NuCypher. We have Ryan from NuCypher. Ryan, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Okay, excellent. So let me hold on one second.
Yeah. Right. So I think Ryan will be back soon.
There we go. I think it's a little more quiet where I am now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Better.
excellent.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for hosting us, Denver.
Yeah.
We're a longtime supporter of anything ETH India and DevFolio does, so we're really happy to be here right now. So let me go through the bounties for NuCypher. So some of you might have seen us before on the Hackathon circuit. We've been doing this for many years. So what is NuCypher? Our high-level vision is unconditional privacy is a fundamental human right, and we empower individuals to assert that right in the digital age. So the overall tech is cryptographic infrastructure for privacy-preserving applications. Well, how does that relate to blockchain? We're a data privacy layer for dApps, and we provide secrets management and dynamic access control. So if you think of, if you're building a dApp, what that dApp stack looks like, you might have something like IPFS for storage, and you might use something like NuCypher for that data access control layer. So I'll make this short and sweet, but this might help people understand what we could be used for as part of that dApp stack. So some use cases, you can think of a decentralized and encrypted Dropbox, an encrypted social media dApp. So think of something like encrypted Snapchat, enterprise mobile device management, Deadman switch using proxy re-encryption, which is actually the underlying tech behind the NuCypher nodes and how our encryption works. I highly encourage everyone to watch the technical talk that we'll be presenting later on, I think in about a week from now. That will really go into the details of how we do what we do, or you can think of something like a decentralized password management. The bounty will be 5,000 USD. We can split it up between multiple teams depending on the submissions. The NuCypher judges will have the final say. Judging criteria, there's just a couple things here. We'll be looking at the novelty of the use case, the difficulty of the technical implementation, and of course the usefulness of the submission. And the only caveat is that it must have an open source license. Links, important links. So all our team works in Discord. We're a distributed team. So if you want to join us there and ask questions, just drop it right in general. Hey, I'm part of the ETHOdyssey Hackathon. I have a question, and one of our engineers or someone on the team will be happy to assist you, work through your use case, or help in whatever way we can. Our main website for more information is NuCypher.com. And then our docs are docs.nucypher.com. But for sure, Discord is the best way to get a hold of anyone on the team for whatever reason.
Perfect. Ryan, thanks for joining in and telling about NuCypher and the bounties on offer. And personally, yes, glad to have NuCypher aboard. We have seen some great hacks being built ever since the first hackathon back in 2018. So, looking forward to carry the tradition here.
Of course, happy to be back and, take things forward as well.
Yep. Right. Next up, we have Sushma from Odds Finance. Glad to have you here, Sushma.
Hey, thanks, Denver. Hello, everyone. I'm Sushma, and I represent Odds Finance today. And I welcome you all to the Hackathon event on behalf of Odds Finance. And as you all know, we are one of the sponsors for today's event. And Odds multi-chain options trading platform that was recently launched on testnet. And we have received a tremendous response from our users. We had 20K plus application for testnet. And among that, 10K were selected and 20K options were bought every day. So we are very happy to share this with you all. And Odds, with this responsive from the users, we aim to launch Odds on Ethereum, Polkadot, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon network, giving the users a choice to choose from different blockchain networks based on their needs. And I also want to share our partnership. We have already partnered with Chainlink for our implied volatility data feeds, and Polygon for its layer 2 solution, and Bioeconomy for its DLR infrastructure network, which provides a zero gas fee model. So, and also Odds protocol has its native token, and it's called as Odds, and which is designed to incentivize and promote the community's active participation. And Odds token are a representation of power and are central to the incentive structure and governance of the Odds protocol. So I would just quickly like to walk you through our platform. Denver, could you please help me with my screen share? Let me share my screen quickly.
Yeah, I think you should be able to. Right in the middle should be the option. Are you able to find it?
No.
Because I don't think my screen is shared.
Oh.
Don't think so.
Anyways, not a problem. I don't see. I'm kind of.
Okay.
Let me try it again.
Okay.
Grant access. It's asking me to grant access. 1 second.
Okay. Sure, I think that should get worked out soon.
Anyways, that's okay. I think there's some problem with my screen share. No problem. I just want to tell all the people here that our aim at Odds is to be the leading derivatives trading platform, and option trading is one of the many products we are going to offer in future. So we have done easy for the traders. Like at Odds, we have something called as easy options, and we have customized options. When I say easy options, it's exclusively for no-vice option traders who have not traded in the past. So any new user can just jump onto the platform and perform trading. That's the whole idea. And people who have experience, they have something called as customized options, where they can choose their own time for the option trade and rate and things like that. And coming to new DeFi users, we will educate the existing DeFi users in terms of how they can get started with option trading. We also are having something called as Odds Academy. Our tutorials will act as a guide for entry-level users. So, and the most best thing I can say so far, the compliments we have received from our users is that it's most simple and easy UI they have come across. So something we have been working hard and to simplify the process for all the DeFi users. And we also have a social trading platform, like a version of copy trading, where users can view the most recent trades made on our platform, and clicking on the wallet history talks about the trades made in the past. And our partnership with Unmarshall will definitely help us in bringing data indexing and querying on odds. So that's refining the process further and improving the analytics on our platform. And apart from that, users have like more than one way to earn. I can say suppose they can be option writers by providing liquidity to 21 different pools on our platform. And apart from that, by staking the odds tokens and thus earning from the transaction fees of all exercise options. The best part about odds is that users do not have to worry about waiting for option writers who will be selling these contracts. So you can anytime customize your own contracts, or we can help you do that based on your risk appetite. The Black-Scholes models and our machine learning algorithms. So option trading platform at Odds is so simple and yet unfull and fruitful, I can say. So we are making it easy for all our users here. And I would like to tell one more thing here. We are also hiring for Odds Finance. Anyone interested for front end and UI development, please write back to me. My email ID is sush@odds.fi. You can just check our website. Odds.fi is our website name. And we are live on testnet. And I would like every one of you to try our platform and give us some feedback. And I'm so glad to share this event and be a part of this. And thank you, Denver, for having us here and for this opportunity. Nice meeting you all. Thank you so much.
For sure, Sushma. And, really nice that you are trying to simplify the UI for option traders and DeFi, and looking forward to the educational content you're going to put out as well. And really looking forward to things ahead.
Thank you so much, Denver. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks, Sushma. All right. So next up, we'll just be quickly covering, just a quick shout out to UniSwap. UniSwap couldn't be here to present today, but they are offering 4,000 in bounties to build on UniSwap. And I don't believe UniSwap needs any introduction. It's probably the best place you can go to swap tokens, provide liquidity, and much, much more. So really excited to see what gets built. Right. So we also have Chainlink, who's also offering $4,000 in bounties. They could also not present today, but then we have a workshop by Chainlink also coming up on Monday. And Chainlink is a premier oracle in the Ethereum ecosystem, and some really cool stuff can be built using Chainlink. We ourselves have we dog-fooded Chainlink to kind of give away to give away t-shirts, swag at ETHOdyssey, and had a great experience. So looking forward to all the cool hacks with Chainlink. Next up, I think we'll have Shay from Consensus, who'll be talking about the bounties that they have on offer. Hey, Shay.
Hi, thank you, Denver. Yes, hi, I'm Shay. I am the experiential marketing and UX design lead for Consensus Software. And we're really excited to be working with DevFolio and sponsoring this year's ETHOdyssey 2021. So let me get into a little bit about Consensus if you don't know. We are trying to inspire the ecosystem around Ethereum blockchain solutions. Little blurb, we're a software engineering leader in the space. We are offering full stack Ethereum products. We help developers like you guys build next generation networks and enable enterprises to launch more powerful financial infrastructure. We're really excited about building and growing our developer community. We have a Discord channel as well, and we have an ambassadorship that we are really excited to grow as well, to really help you guys innovate and inspire others to build on the blockchain. Some of our products, which you might be familiar with, are Codify, Quorum, Diligence, Infura, MetaMask, and Truffle. Diligence, Infura, MetaMask, and Truffle are more common, our developer kind of tool suite that you'd use in a lot of your builds. And so a lot of we have a couple from MetaMask and Diligence this ETHOdyssey for you guys to claim some bounties around. So if you ever want to look into more of these products, a little bit more details, feel free to explore at consensus.net. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly go over a few things. We had a Truffle workshop yesterday, which is very exciting. I'm going to give you a link to that slide deck, the replay link, if you weren't able to see it live. Our Truffle kind of evangelist and innovator, Kevin Bluer, was the one who ran the workshop, and it was really great. It was kind of a get started with Truffle. We also will talk about the bounties we have for you guys to claim and work on. We're really excited to inspire you. Also, we have some great Consensus Academy offerings with a basic training, which is free, and a boot camp for those more advanced, looking to get more of a deep dive into it. We do have some early bird discounts around that. And then finally, we have a new series called Build with Consensus, which is a weekly session we run on our Discord. So we would love for you to start joining that if you haven't already. And of course, we'll give you a link in case you are interested in becoming an ambassador. So Truffle, yeah, this is our development environment. It's a testing framework for Ethereum smart contracts. You might have already had experience using that. The Truffle workshop basically is, kind of a get started, how to, get your foot in the door and, launch, develop and deploy a dApp with confidence. Here are some links to the slides. I'm not sure, Denver, if you're sharing this out, but we can certainly post this. I'll post this on the Discord channel that we have with Devfolio under the ETHOdyssey, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, great. So I'll just share those there. Any of the links on these slides, I'll share in that Discord channel. There are some great Truffle boxes to check out if you want to kind of get in and get your hands into the mix of how to build. And we have one for Polygon and we have one for Optimism. So Diligence is one of our first offerings for the bounties. It's a security audits for Ethereum blockchain smart contracts. So what Diligence is offering up is working with Scribble. So the first bounty is adding Scribble annotation to UniSwap with the following repos. So again, I'm going to pin post these bounties on our Discord channel after this so that you guys can see the details more. And I believe it will be posted on the Devfolio website as well. This is 2 options to claim this particular bounty, and they're $250 each. So total claim would be $500. And as you can see the description here, it's basically just, helping you kind of innovate around this particular challenge. Second one is actually a bit more of a UI project, whereas design our next logo. So they're looking to inspire the designers out there to come up with a logo for Diligence. Now this one is the top choices. So there's up to 3 top choices, and you can win $500 a claim. So that's pretty cool. Then we have MetaMask. This is our crypto wallet and gateway to blockchain dApps. So we are really excited about having everyone kind of interact with MetaMask, help extend it, help to really expand what we can do with the MetaMask product. And so this bounty is best project that expands on microfinancing for social entrepreneurship using MetaMask. So this is a bit more wide open. We love to kind of inspire you guys to innovate. We're happy to talk about ideas and use cases or any more inspiration on the Discord channel around this, but we have 8 chances for, or 8 projects can claim this bounty. It's a $250 claim. And so we have a total of 2,000 around this particular bounty. So Consensus Academy. Yeah, so we just launched or just opening up our boot camp and basic training. Very exciting. Basic training is free. It's basically a course to go over the fundamental tools for developing. It's covering Unix, Linux environments, command line, code editors, Git, JavaScript, Node.js, web frameworks. It's not just for beginners, as it says. So but it will, you could come in without knowing much and you'll feel like pretty confident to go to the next level. So definitely check that out when you have a chance. Tom Hay and Coogan Brennan from our DevRel team are the points or the point of contact for that if you have any more questions. I can certainly direct you there, but you can find Tom on the Discord channel for sure. And then the bootcamp. This is our exciting 11-week developer bootcamp program, which we are launching. It's beginning in August, I believe, or I think it's August that it launches. But the early bird discount is available until July 21st. So you can get $200 off. and you have to type in the code bootcamp super early 2021 exactly in there, so that you can get that discount. And we do accept crypto as payment. This is going to give you, the foundation you need to come out really confident, knowing how to be a really strong blockchain developer. And finally, we want to inspire you to, innovate on our, using our products in these bounties, of course, during ETHOdyssey, and see what you guys can come up with. And we would love for you to join our community. Like I said, we have a weekly Build with Consensus Discord session every Thursday, and it's meant for our developers. And a lot of times we have some great guest speakers. Our ambassadors a lot of times will run a theme and topic of interest, and it's just some really good conversation. Also, we do have an opportunity for you to become an ambassador, and what those benefits and perks are. You can find out more. Just fill out the form and express your interest, and then we'll follow up with you. And finally, like I mentioned, we are really excited to be a part of this hackathon event, and we are going to be on the Discord channel to be there with any questions you have, help you with any project ideas. And so feel free to reach out to us. Myself, Tom, Anthony, Robbie, and Chantel will be the DevRel team representing Consensus. So please reach out to us and let us know if you have any questions around anything. And finally, thank you for innovating with us on the blockchain.
Yeah. Thanks, Shay. Yeah, really excited to see where these hackers take it with the Consensus suite. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I think we had a good workshop yesterday, and yeah.
Yeah, and I just realized I didn't share my screen the whole time. I thought I was sharing my screen. I'm so sorry about that. This was the screen. But yeah, I think if anybody, let me just go back real quick. Sorry, because I know that this was the screen for, if it helps, I'll just quickly click back. Built with bit.ly, Build with Consensus is a quick link to join us on our Discord channel, just to make it easy. And our boot camp, it's easier to see. So maybe we can share this. I don't know if we could share this, Denver, this slide deck with everybody,
Yes,
or should I just
sure.
share the links on Discord? Is that easiest?
Yeah,
I think I'll just
share
do
it
that
with me, and I can share it. I can pass it on.
Okay, so I'll share the links and all the important links for everybody on the Discord. I'll pin that in our Discord channel as well. So yeah, I just didn't realize I wasn't showing you guys all the pretty slides. So, okay, that's it for me.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, Shay. And yeah, like I said, excited for all the cool stuff. Right. All right, so next up we have Scott from Portis. Hey, Scott, how's it going?
I'm here.
Hey.
Hey, everyone. How you doing today? Denver, it's always a pleasure to be a part of the hackathons here. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, sort of like our code base for implementing Portis. Going to get right to the point. Let me see if I can share my screen. I don't want to make a boo-boo, so let's try to do that first. So, Denver, if you could allow me to share my screen,
Sure.
that'd be fantastic. And while you're enabling that, I just want to thank everyone part of DevFolio for all the hard work that you guys have done, especially in this past year. I know things have been extremely, I mean, there's no real words. I was gonna say wild and crazy, but you guys have been through some major ups and downs. So a lot of love sent to your team for what you guys went through. And thank you for persevering and being able to come out on the other side and still making a positive change for the world by putting together these hackathons. Really much appreciated. You guys have done so much for, not only Portis, but for the entire ecosystem. So
Thanks a lot.
First, I thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Means a lot.
You're welcome, Denver. Okay, let's get to this. So I'm Scott. I'm from Portis. Give you guys a little background. Portis has been in the ecosystem since 2017-ish. We were one of the first wallets to support NFTs. Yeah, we're making a really big push in the coming years for NFTs. Even before that, our whole thing was wanting to solve simple user experience. If you were building a dApp, whether a marketplace or something in DeFi or a game or some type of DAO, we wanted to make sure that your users can engage in the dApp without having to understand what MetaMask was and installing a third party provider or a Chrome extension. Literally, you could go to the dApp and the end user can put in an email and password, and it encrypts their private keys with end-to-end encryption. So now an end user can come to your game, your dApp, your marketplace, your NFT experience without having to know about private keys and use an email and password to start using it and still be 100% self-custodial. We were also one of the first wallets, if not the first wallet, to support Matic Network back in late 2017, early 2018 for cross-chain interoperability. Not only did we support Matic, but XDAI and various other chains. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to our App Store. Currently today, we support over 500 companies in the ecosystem, cross ecosystems. We don't list every single application that we support. However, here are some of our favorites. So you can see from Aave to 1inch to Uniswap to 0x to Multi-Center to Oasis, which is MakerDAO, SushiSwap, Yearn Finance, Zerion, and then some social applications from 3box to Aragon to Rabbit Hole to Pool Together, and then some cool marketplaces like NFTX and Clovers and Collectors Hub and Charged Particles and Gitcoin and NFT Cred and OpenSea and Known Origin, and then some games. So really, it's very simple. All you do is implement our couple lines of code, which you can see here. First, you register in our dashboard so that you could get your dApp ID. Then you install the npm install, which is at Portis Web3. And then you implement your dApp ID, and essentially you're ready to go. On top of that, we have gas relay built in so that if you want to sponsor the gas fees for transactions on Ethereum, you can do that. Obviously, we support Polygon, so you won't really have to worry about gas fees if you're building on Polygon. Really, if you have any questions, we try to make sure that our documentation is as best as possible with our little tips and tricks built into our docs. But reach out to us. We're on Telegram. We're on Discord. We try to be as responsive as possible. Anyways, I hope you guys use your imagination. There's a ton of great sponsors here to build on top of their amazing platforms. But remember, you're not a wallet. Try to focus on building the best app that you can. Allow Portis to do what we do best, and that's onboarding, user experience, credit card fiat on-ramping, and a multitude of other really cool experiences that we have. Anyways, I'm Scott. Reach out to me on Twitter, just Scott Gralnick, or if you go to Portis, ping me, and we'll be here to help you out. Or reach out to Denver or anyone at the DappFolio group, and I'm sure they'll make a connection so that we can be there to support you along your amazing journey in this ecosystem. And don't think you're too late. We are still so early in this space. We have a very long way to go. The world is changing, and you're at the forefront of that. So congratulations to you. Denver, always a pleasure. Again, thank you for everything you guys do for the ecosystem. Portis and the team are extremely excited to be here and to support. And yeah, reach out with any questions. Thank you so much.
Yep. Always great to have you, Scott.
Thanks, Denver.
In fact, like some of our hackers are already curious. How come you have so many stickers on in your background?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll cover this up so everyone can see. Those stickers are companies that we work with. Every single one of those stickers we work with, or some conference we've been to. In fact, if you look at the blue sticker straight ahead, I'm covering it up with my head, but it's right there. This is an early Matic sticker that they gave us. So yeah, I mean, we love supporting the ecosystem, and you travel the circuit and you go to these conferences and these hackathons, and everyone becomes your family. And so not only do I want to support the Portis stickers, which I'm biased to, but I want to be able to support every other company that we work with, because that's our ecosystem. We try to be as friendly and helpful as possible, because without each other supporting one another, we can't get anywhere. So that's the reason why I have these stickers. And yeah, I hope that answered it.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. And yeah, 100% agree with the ethos there.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again, guys. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Next up, we have Francesco from Superfluid. Hey, Francesco.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, great.
How's it going?
Great to
well,
have you.
It's really cool to be back in an ETHOdyssey hackathon. I think it's been a tough few months, but I'm super excited that you guys have got back on track, and for us to have the opportunity to sponsor again. Last hackathon was amazing. I hope to see some familiar faces in the participants as well. And I just wanted to say one thing, and then in the meantime, maybe you can give me the permission to share my screen. Yeah. I think Sandeep said something very important at the beginning, which was that this could be for you kind of the first step in Web3, right? I think this is an incredibly important thing to stress, because my company, Superfluid, was born at a hackathon, right? That's where I met my co-founders. That's where we came up with the idea, and that's where we started building it. So hackathons are a magical place to get to know people and get started with new projects. So I encourage everyone to take it very seriously, and don't let anyone tell you your idea is too crazy. So let's see if I can share my screen. Yeah, I'll tell you a bit about Superfluid. If any of you guys don't know it, we are fairly new compared to some of the other guys in this hackathon. So Superfluid is a protocol that allows you to automate recurring transactions. So we do this through a concept called streaming money, which is when you transfer money over time. We do it without capital lockup, so you can always withdraw your funds. And we have programmable cash flows, which means you can build logic into your streams of money. So we believe that streams are extremely important in monetizing Web3. Now in Web2, we have very well-developed and proven ways of monetizing, right? We do subscriptions, you can do memberships, but in Web3, generally people build a token, and they often build it before it's really time to have a token, right? So we believe that by enabling recurring payments through money streaming, we can allow people to build sustainable applications. Now, you can also use money streams for a bunch of other things, like, for example, salaries. Now, I think most of us hate having to wait 1 month to get paid. And we believe at Superfluid that everybody should get paid every second they work. So there's a lot of exciting things you can build with Superfluid, but let me maybe explain a bit more how money streaming works. So money streaming is basically transferring money every second. So every second that a money stream is open, a tiny bit of money will be transferred to your counterparty. Now with Superfluid, you can do this without having to deposit too much money up front. Now you need a bit of money, but not like a full month's worth. And what this means is you can build applications with very little capital, but that can move a lot of money, right? It's very capital efficient. The receiver doesn't have to withdraw from their Superfluid account, and they can then stream onto someone else. So imagine you're receiving your salary in a stream, and you can open a stream to a savings account. And while you receive the money from your employer, you can reinvest all of it. Now, this sounds like a crazy idea, but it's actually being built at the moment by a team in a different hackathon. So these things are possible, and these are some of the ideas that we would like to see you guys build during this hackathon. So streams don't have any recurring gas fees. This is very important. So you only pay once at the beginning, and then they stay open forever. So they're perpetual money streams. Now, building with Superfluid is very easy. You can either go on the front end just using JavaScript, and it's basically one-liner. So as it says here, bob.flow, recipient Alice, and flow rate. Flow rate is how much you're transferring every second. So it's an extremely easy to use JavaScript SDK. So if you're coming from Web 2, you can get yourself familiar with, maybe scaffold-eth that Austin was presenting, and integrate Superfluid within a matter of minutes. If you're more advanced and you want to take on some of our bounties that require it, you can go into Solidity. And in that case, you have we call the Super App Framework, which allows you to build applications that react to streams. So when a stream is open to your application, you can execute custom logic and execute more logic when the stream is closed. So to learn more about that, you can head over to docs.superfluid.finance. Now, if you're not technical, maybe you're a designer, or maybe you are technical, but you just want to kind of understand how this is, go to app.superfluid.finance. It works on every testnet, it works on Matic, it works on XDAI, and you can just immediately get started and start sending some streams of money. Now, for this hackathon, we're putting up 3 bounties, $4,000 in total. The first bounty is to build an application with lending and streaming in the same application. Now, this is something that some community members have asked us for. They basically have maybe Ether or Bitcoin, and they want to borrow against that to make their monthly expenses, right? So what we would love to see here is somebody build an application where you can deposit something and then take out a loan in a stream. The second prize is for something with social tokens. Now, social tokens are a way for influencers and creators to create stronger connections with their audiences. And we believe that by streaming them, they can create a connection that lasts over time. So this is something that we would love you to build on. And the third prize is open. Whatever you build, we call it the pirate prize. Whatever you build goes, and it's $1,000. So if you have a crazy idea with Superfluid, go for it, and you can still win $1,000. And just wanted to advertise on next Thursday, on the 8th of July at 10 p.m. IST, we'll be holding a workshop. It will be me and Patrick, which is an amazing developer experience person that works with us, and he'll be able to kind of showcase how to quickly get started if you haven't yet by then. So that's it from me, and you can find us in our Discord, which is discord.superfluid.finance. And I hope I kept into the 3 minutes, but I might have gone a bit longer. Sorry, Denver.
Good. Yeah, super excited to see what gets built on Superfluid. Had some really cool projects last time, and we at DevFolio also had fun about thinking about use cases with Superfluid. And
it's been a wild ride since last time we were sponsoring. We weren't live on mainnet yet, right? Since then, we've gone live. We've seen a few applications go live. We have some people doing streaming yield farming, some people paying salaries. So yeah, it's been very exciting, seeing developers build on a protocol so far.
Yeah, thanks, Francesco. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. All right. Next up, we have the graph, something that we're really excited about, checking out what gets built. Think the graph is amazing. Hey, Nader, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can.
Awesome. So I would like to share my screen. I have a little bit of a presentation to show.
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, can everyone see that okay?
Yes.
Awesome, yeah, so thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the intro, and this has been really interesting to kind of see all of these presentations. I've learned a lot, so I'm really glad that I got to stick around and watch some of these. So I'm honored to be, a part of this event. My name is Nader Dabbit. I'm a senior or a developer relations engineer at Edge and Node, and we work very closely with the Graph protocol. And I'm here joined in this event by Pranav Maheshwari, as well as Martin Telekia. And he is a community lead and Pranav is a solutions engineer. So from the Graph, we're going to be presenting a workshop by Pranav later today. And maybe that's already going to be happening. I'm not sure the timing on that, but I believe it's later today. And some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about will also have to do with that workshop. So kind of if you're looking to learn how to build on the Graph, that's definitely a good place to go. The Graph is an indexing protocol for querying networks like Ethereum and IPFS. So basically, instead of having to index your own or create your own indexing servers for complex queries from different blockchains, you can basically deploy a subgraph to the decentralized network and allow different data access patterns from the API that you deploy. And you can also participate in the network, not only as a developer, but in a few other different roles. The Graph is being used by a lot of different protocols and a lot of different applications today. So some of the more notable subgraphs that are out there are from companies like UniSwap that is using it in production, Synthetics, Foundation, and you can kind of look at the subgraph explorer at thegraph.com to kind of get an idea of some of the various applications that are happening out there. And as of a few weeks ago, we have over 16,000 lifetime subgraphs deployed and over 20,000 actual developers using the graph. And the way that you kind of will deploy an API to the graph, you as a developer can author a subgraph, and this is kind of like a configuration file almost, with a little bit of code that you would write to describe the data that you want indexed, and also the data sources. So the data sources would be applications that have been deployed, some type of smart contract usually. Once you've written your subgraph, you deploy the subgraph to the host service, which is part of the graph. And from there, you can test it out. So from your testing environment, you can run different queries, you can pass in different arguments, you can return different selection sets, and kind of get a good idea of what the data is going to look like before you start implementing on your front end. Once you're ready to use your subgraph in production, you can publish your subgraph to the decentralized network. And from this point on, anyone that would like to use that can actually start implementing their front end using your subgraph. And one of the more interesting things is that you can also start earning curation rewards. So if you build an interesting subgraph and this subgraph gets picked up by 1 or 10 or 100 different applications that need this data, then any money that they paid towards the subgraph, you can earn money as a curator. And in addition to that, you can also participate in the network as an indexer. So if you want to run a node yourself, you can basically do that. And then when people deploy subgraphs to your index, to your indexer, or to your node as an indexer, you can earn both query feeds as well as indexing rewards, which is part of the yearly inflation of the GRT graph tokens. So we're really excited to present a couple of bounties here. One is building on an existing subgraph. So for first prize, we're giving away 1,000 DAI, and for runner-up 500. And this basically means you can go into the Graph Explorer, pick up a subgraph that someone else has already deployed, and build out some type of interesting front end on it. So you can either just query for the data and show like a nice NFT display, or maybe you can create something that not only queries, but also sends transactions and makes updates to the contract. So the beautiful thing about Web3 is that all of the data is open, all of the smart contracts are open, so anyone can build, and you can actually combine multiple different data sources to build out rich, interesting UIs that other people maybe have not thought of before. So building on an existing subgraph is one prize. Another prize is building a new subgraph. So if you have an idea for a new subgraph, you have a smart contract that you think might be interesting to build a subgraph on, you can also earn 1,000 DAI first prize and run up 500 for a new subgraph. So, those are your two options. If you want to learn, check out the workshop today from Pranav. You can go to thegraph.com, check out the Graph Discord. I wrote a blog post on Medium called Building GraphQL APIs on Ethereum that has a full code base that goes along with it. So I think between all of these different resources, you should be able to kind of get up and running and be successful building out a subgraph in probably 30 minutes or less to kind of get you up and running. So that's it. Let's start building. I'm trying not to take too long because I know we've been here for a while, but I just wanted to, again, thank you for allowing me to kind of be part of this event. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what everyone builds.
Yep. Thanks, Nader. And the graph is something, really interesting that we're looking forward to. And we have been fans for a while, and glad to finally have the graph over, and yeah, excited to see some cool subgraphs.
Yeah, we're really happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Nader. Thanks again. All right. Yep. Okay. Next up, we have the DappList. Have Nirbhik from the DappList here. Hey, Nirbhik.
Hello. Hey, hi, Danur.
How's it going?
Doing good, buddy. How about you?
Yep. So, Nirbhik and DevFolio go a while back.
Yes.
So we've been associated since the first ETH India with ETH India, ETH India 2, and many more events. And great to come full circle and host you as a supporter.
Thank you, Denver. Thanks a lot. It's pretty exciting to to go through that the whole journey and knowing you guys since 2016, 2017, and even after that we have been associated for quite long. And it's good to be here. I've been into several hackathons, and I think I see few names that I've probably met in some of the hackathons. So pretty excited about what you guys must be building. And thanks a lot for having us over here. It's always a pleasure to present at the DappList hackathons. And ETH India definitely is one of the biggest ETH global hackathon, right? So I'm pretty excited about this one. So yeah, let's get started. I'll quickly share my screen and I'll try to take as less time as possible. I'll keep it as minimal. Sorry, just please.
I can't really see your screen, but then you should be able to share it.
Yeah, it's working now.
All right.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm presenting the DappList, which is basically a user-facing and developer-facing product. And more than product, it's an ecosystem that we are trying to build over here, and it all goes back from what we have experienced, or I have experienced personally, while I've been in Web3 since 2016, 2017. And what we're trying to create is more of an ecosystem where we have three modules as of now. One of the module which is closely connected with users, the another module is closely interactive for developers, and then we have got a third module which acts as a bridge between users and developers. So I'll quickly get into the details. Yeah. So we are basically a multi-chain ecosystem, and we are trying to curate the Web3 adoption. And what we meant by that is basically we have got different ways of curation. Right now, we see a lot of things that we see as a noise out there, and we are trying to eliminate that and try to bring forward more credible or more developer friendly or more user friendly applications out there, right? And to curate that, we have got different ways to do that. One of the way is through community governance, where we have got community curating all the application. The other way of curation is basically incubating projects, and what we meant over there is basically we will incubate projects, because we have been through experience, and we have learned a lot of things in our journey and even before that. And we would like to help more and more developers coming out of from Indian ecosystem, or from probably out of Indian ecosystem also. And we'll try to extend our hands as much as possible to help developers build and grow in Web3 ecosystem. And over there, we are deeply connected with with Dappfolio. We have been associated, we have been friends since quite long, and finally we are working together on a product that we are building, right? So we've got three very simple modules. The first one is Explore, which is all about exploring the Web3 applications. And over there, we have got a community governance mechanism to curate applications, which is anyone with a Web3 identity or has a MetaMask wallet and holds DAI in their wallet, they can start curating applications. There are two major actors over here, hunters and voters. They can, hunters are responsible for hunting application, and then voters vote on this application. And basis the votes, the applications are listed. So that's Explore. It gives users a fair list of applications that are community validated. The second is Biddle, which is all about incubation that I talked about. Over here, we will be supporting early products, early projects coming out from Indian ecosystem for now. And we've got already we have got a few developers that we are speaking with, and it will be a complete mentorship program where we'll be incubating projects and we'll be helping them in terms of growth and launching on our platform. And then we have got Invest. Invest is a mix of DeFi and DAOs. So there are two different models over there. One is a DAO model, and another one is a syndicate model. And we are trying to add more power over there in terms of DeFi. So yeah, more details on that will probably go live on our social media and things like that. But yeah, in simple words, we incubate, we mentor, and we launch projects on our platform. And because we are a user-facing product as well, that gives us a lot of that gives developers a lot of benefit in terms of launching and building an early community with us. So that's the DappList in short.
Perfect. Yeah, cool stuff, Nirbhik, and I agree with that you're doing a great job covering the entire life cycle, right? From helping them build, then invest, then launch, and everything. So that's something that's much needed in this space. And yeah, great to have the DappList aboard.
Thanks a lot. And yeah, really excited about the World Hackathon. All the best to everyone. And we'll be in the rooms, in the Discord rooms. If you need any help from our end, we'll be there. And definitely looking forward to stay in touch and speak more with developers. That's what we have been doing for more than 2 years now. And I'm always excited to be at hackathons. Unfortunately, this is not an offline hackathon, so we can't meet. But pretty excited. You can write to me on Telegram, on Twitter if you're building something cool in the hackathon, and if you need my help in terms of ideation or any technical help that you need or mentorship, we'll be there for you.
Yep. Well, Nirbhik, you would be glad to learn that you actually can meet people at this hackathon. We're going to have the ETHOdyssey Metaverse open up tomorrow, and you'll be able to meet everyone in the Metaverse.
Awesome. Excited about this. Thanks a lot, Denver. And thanks a lot to the overall DappFolio team. Pretty excited about you guys, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Over to you, Denver.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So that was the DappList, and with that, we are at the end of our session for today. Started, I think, more than 3 hours ago, covering an overview of the hackathon. You'll find more details on the Hackers Guide, plus emails that we'll be sending you right after this session. Then we moved on with the scaffold-eth workshop. Great, always love the energy by Austin. We had Sandeep over, who shared some of his personal insights and on his ETH India experience. And then we had all our amazing sponsors talk about all the cool stuff they're into and the bounties they're presenting. So really glad to have all of you here. And wish you the best for the ETHOdyssey hackathon. And like always, just going to sign off with our trademark, never stop building. Should be never stop biddling this time. But yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. All the best.